It's me, the boss of Dread, coming in live with Connor, Sylvius, and nobody
These two
else.
fucking losers.
Yeah. Alright, I've whipped out all the maps of Castrol for this just to suffer.
You have to not. Well, you're gonna have to close them all because you can't use them.
Oh, right.
Okay, let me
I
explain
can't
to you
be.
the
I can't be
ground
meta.
rules here. So how this is gonna work is I will be explaining, just describing everything to you. You'll get maps eventually, but for now, the only things you are allowed to have open, you should have a separate Google tab. The only things you are allowed to have open is your logs and your character sheet. That's it. Only things you're allowed to have open.
Alright, let me whip those open real quick then.
So how this works is that one thing you will do in your folder, go ahead and make a memories. I'll just make it for you. But so every person will have a memories log. Your memories log you're gonna want to constantly have pulled up, because how this will work is whenever anything happens,
of importance I write down,
yeah,
yeah.
you're supposed to write it down.
Okay.
Because if you ever forget anything in real time or real life, you forgot it in lore as well. And every once in a while, I will go in and delete less important stuff to simulate memory loss. Okay, so yeah, those are the. I'll trust that those are the only things you have open right now. I was gonna assume that you're not having anything else.
Well, you can see me on all three. That's all I'm on.
Okay, so how this will work, is I will just be describing the world to you, and you'll be going with flow with the motions. The only things that the reason why you can have your character sheet open is because skills are things you intrinsically understand and just know how they work. Magic and any magic spells you will also have to write down in your memory. I will note.
Okay.
Yeah, and so so I will be describing the world to you. Remember, there is no limitations. You can do whatever the hell you want. There is nothing to stop crime. Crime fighting. It is all based on your own individual skill and quick thinking as a character, and reaction timing and such, which I will be determining.
All right, cool.
All right. Is there anything else I need to mention?
No, so it's basically just like go with the flow type of thinking. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Actually, give me a second. I need to do one last thing to make sure that this is all set up. God, there's so many files.
You know, it's awful. I personally have like, it's not like diagnosed or anything, but I think I genuinely have some sort of memory loss. So like, this is gonna be,
Okay.
Let me help you out. I have photographic memory, as we all know. So.
Don't. Shut up.
In what world? In what reality? If that were true, I would love that. Yeah, I'd be like, hey Jamal, remember this from you, but you don't.
Okay. Start date. I'm gonna go ahead and set the start date at Castier the 9th.
I can't say I can remember stuff with a straight face because I did accidentally forget one of my friend's birthday.
All right.
So that was not fun.
All right, boys, let's run it. So there are two types of interactions. One is you talking to me, explaining to me what you're doing, and of course character interactions. I'll be playing all that non-player characters naturally. You can choose how to talk to them however you want. Do note that I expect you to be in a character voice because depending on the tone and the word choices you use will determine how characters respond to you, of course.
Of course.
So if you want to give
like actual life.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if your character has a certain personality you want to show, do that, because if you talk in your normal voice, they're gonna assume that you're that.
Okay.
Let's go ahead. Okay. Well, this we all know.
I gotta like speed run through the tales of Athenos Dread as I try to like figure out what the character I wanted to be.
You want me to give you a second to do that, or nah?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Let me like write it down or somewhere.
Okay, can't wait to see how this goes. We need to make a D&D. This isn't D&D. The only number stats you have is mana. That's it. Everything, HP, stamina, constitution, all that I just kind of determine. What the fuck are you sending? And what is this, Jamal?
I didn't even send anything.
Yes, you did. You literally put the fucking Steve playing Fortnite.
That's important.
Why did you send a GIF of Saul Goodman for everybody in the recording, in the Discord, in lore discussion? He sent a GIF of Saul fucking Goodman.
Look, I'm
What's
mentally
going
ill.
on?
What do you want me to respond?
Elpis, you can't join if you wanted to. You all landing in different spots of the world. You're not together.
Yeah, no, unless you're like right beside me somehow, some way,
Somehow,
I don't know.
some way. I believe Alex is landing somewhere in the Monster Plains. Jamal's in the northern parts of the Kinshin Desert. Crystal's in the Great Fairy Forest. I'm in the Highlands. Burb is in the lake in the. I think I called it Incheon Lake. Either in the Incheon Basin. I know it's not Cinnabelle Lake. Cinnabelle Lake is the one in the Highlands. What was the one in Dalhaven? The lake there. I think it was just Incheon Lake, right? Or a little rain. Yeah, Incheon Lake. I was right. Yeah. Dread's gonna end up technically starts on Thunder Island. It's gonna get booted to Great Monster Forest, and we haven't decided where you want to end up yet because we can do that at a later date.
You should go into the Mermaid Kingdom. Just drop him in.
Apparently. Okay, Dread, you ready?
Sure. I think this is about it for now. So.
All right.
In the middle of the ocean.
Shut up, Jamal.
Like I'm a mute.
Okay. Your eyes are still rather hazy. You're not quite sure what just happened. One moment you're alive, the next dead, the next alive, next a god, next deciding an entirely new life. The next thing you know, you're plummeting from the sky. You're only semi-conscious when you fell, barely even recognizing what's happening, but you land with a thud on some grass. You don't feel any pain. You assume that the god protected you from it. It's a bit chilly, not cold enough to be the deepest parts of winter, but cold enough to tell you that it was the early seasons. You stand up and look around. You see a beach, not far off. You're not sure if it's an island or the edge of a continent. Regardless, you look down below you and observe your surroundings. You see grass. It's very dark green. Unusually dark green, almost purplish. The things are the blades of the grass are jagged, all like lightning. Same with the trees, in fact. No animals, no birds, no insects. The only thing you see are long, tall, jagged trees and a massive spire looming over you. What do you do?
Well, I suppose I would go investigate the spire.
Joel, I could kick you from the fucking server. I swear to God. One more Saul Goodman out of you, and you're gone. Anyways. Quickly getting used to your surroundings, you think about the character you made. The person you are. A dragonoid. Half dragon, half human. You recall the skills you took. And if you really think about it, deep down, you feel like you know what each of them do, instinctually. It's weird. Weird feeling. You're always so used to human constraints, but now you have scales, powerful arms, legs, hands, and feet, wings on the back of you, and enhanced eyesight. Feels odd, but also feels good. You extend your wings and feel the wind flowing through it. You're afraid that you won't know how to fly and might faceplant straight into the ground. Regardless, you flap them once and slightly take a few inches off the ground. You keep going, till eventually you take flight. It's a bit wobbly at first, but your instincts seem to kick in as a dragonborn, whatever that may be, and ascend the tower. As you ascend, you feel a presence overwhelming you. You're used to this kind of feeling working as an assassin, always having to worry about people on your back, worrying if someone might find out about you. You know this feeling well. As you continue to approach, you wonder if this is a good idea. Regardless, you don't stop. As you ascend, you look around you and do notice that you are in fact on an island. A large island, but an island nonetheless. Everything seems to be so monochromatic. Dark green and purple. That's it. Even the only thing that stands out as color is the yellow sands and the gray tower. You continue to approach and ascend the tower, and eventually reach the top. As you make your descent and land on the platform at the very top, a voice booms out at you. Who dares to approach my tower? You look around, and before you, a massive purple dragon stands before you, looming so powerfully over you. How do you respond?
Alright, okay, so I'm just gonna like use this voice as just like my in-between. This is gonna be my character voice, alright? So alright, so let's see, what am I gonna do here? Can I like channel a bit of like lightning magic here? Like
You
any
have
kind
no
of magic?
idea how to use magic.
No idea of magic right
Literally
now.
no
Okay,
idea
okay.
how to use magic. You can use your
So I
skills,
can't.
but you can't use magic yet.
Okay, I can use my skills. Okay, all right. So that's good to know. All right, so here's what I do. Okay, I look up at this giant purplish dragon with his features, and I'm just like I just observe him basically. I'm giving him like the look down, and I'm just like, wow, okay, that's pretty impressive. Then after I do that, I respond with, well, my name is Dread, Athenos Dread. It is a pleasure to meet you, good sir.
The dragon scoffs at you, clearly not delighted by your presence. You're lucky you're a dragon, or else I would have reduced you to ashes the moment I saw you. Most dragonborns, as well as any dragon outside of lightning dragons, don't visit me often. So what business do you have here, boy?
Well, you see, I just woke up on the beach with little to no idea of where I was. It's really interesting, and I was just wondering, where am I exactly?
Impudent fool. You stand before the great lightning dragon lord Zierman, and you don't even know where you are. Fine, I'll educate you. You are on Thunder Island, on the continent of Castriel. This entire island is my domain, where I live, away from the petty squabbles of other mortal races, enjoying my peace and quiet with a few attendees here and there. Now, my patience is short, but if you don't aggravate me, you can stay for a bit. There are fruits that grow on the trees here for food if you really want. However, I would not like to have someone as weak as you on this island for too long. I suggest you get out of my sight at once before I change my mind.
And then I'm just like, I'm taking this start like as serious as possible. I don't want to die again, so I just like nod, and then I just like fly back down. Okay, so I arrive at the bottom of the spire, I go out to the lightning, suddenly everything makes sense. I realize everything around me, wow, looks kind of lightning related. Funny how that works. Now it makes sense why everything's jagged. So I fly up to a tree and I try and like grab some fruit seed just to see what's up.
Okay. You fly up to the top and go ahead and grab some fruits off. Grab fruits off the trees. You see one. You see one fruit hanging off a branch. It looks ripe enough, you think. They're almost pear-shaped. However, they're rather small, so you think that they might not be completely ready yet. They're purple and slightly brighter on top. And they have a uncharacteristically non-lightning shape like everything else on the island.
I pick out one of the fruits, the one that seems like to me the most ripe, I suppose, and then I take a bite of it. Of the
You take a bite of the fruit, and the inside is pure yellow. A few seeds here and there, but mostly yellow. You take a bite, and it's very sweet, almost uncharacteristically sweet. You remember fruits in your original world that before they were ripe were often hard to eat, and only really developed a proper taste after. You assume that this might mean that they're not ripe, but you're not sure. They have a very fizzy feeling in your mouth, almost like eating a ball of static electricity, which you assume would make sense because the whole island is lightning. You feel slightly nourished by the fruit, but not by much. Kind of like eating a handful of berries.
Okay. So that's what I'm feeling, and then suddenly I'm just like, well, if I'm gonna make a trip out of the island, in my mind, I should probably, eat a little bit more, fill the stomach before a journey, because I'd imagine flying would take out a lot of energy. So I eat some more of the lightning fruits, just to see what's up.
So you consume more of the lightning fruits. The static feels weird, but it's not like it hurts. So interestingly enough, as you eat them, you feel a part of you that you can't quite put your finger on getting replenished. It's not any physical attribute of yourself, but something deep down in your soul seems to be enjoying the particular fruit that you're eating. Regardless, you get your fill, although not the most nourishing meal, it's enough. And now you can decide whether or not you want to take your leave or talk to Zierman again.
Well, considering the fact that in my mind, last I recall of him, he's not only massive. Apparently, he's a thunder dragon lord. That part didn't skip the mind, so he must be pretty damn powerful. And I've no reference for how strong dragons can be, so I would choose not to risk it. And I decide, you know what? I've taken some fruits. I've filled the stomach. I should probably head out. And I go to some random direction on. I go to the beach. Let's say that. And then I just I look around and see, is there any indicator to where I can go?
I mean, quick pause. I mean, do you want to follow the storyline you set up for your character? Because I started from the beginning to add depth to it. But if you want to go for the character who is always very strong-headed,
Yeah, I mean, I could.
up to
Let's
you.
see.
Because if you just go off on your own, it's not. I will admit, it's not going to be as interesting.
Yeah, it's not going to be as interesting if I do that, I suppose. Well, okay, you know what? Let's tap away from the shy introverted assassin, and let's tap into a bit of the, bloodlust. He likes fighting, right?
Need I
So
remind you
let's
that
see.
your skills do in fact, and that's one thing I should say. Your skills impact your personality to an extent.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking fighting. Have you seen the skills?
Yeah.
There's no way I'm not. Okay, so let's redo this. Let's run it back. I just finished eating all the lightning fruits, and I'm feeling very confident. I've got a full stomach now, so you know what? I say, you know what? This lightning dragon man, thunder dragon lord, I'm not scared. I don't have a reference of how strong they are. So you know what? He could be really powerful, or he could not be. But you know what? I don't think he's that powerful. I think he's spouting bullshit because he's living in isolation. So let's go back up to the tower and talk with the Zeerman.
Impeccable logic, as always. You begin to ascend the tower again, feeling slightly more nourished, both spiritually and physically, by the fruit, and land on top of the tower again to confront Zeerman. He stares at you again and asks you, "Why have you returned, boy?"
And so I respond in just an even tone. You see, I would like to challenge you. I feel like I could learn something from a good fight with the Thunder Dragon Lord. If you seem pretty powerful, and you know what? I'm willing to test my luck. So let's go, Zeerman.
The Dragon Lord lets out a deafening laugh. It almost destroys your eardrums. You imagine that if you were still human, it likely would have exploded him. But the strength of the dragon keeps you not dead. The fact that the bellowing laugh alone was almost enough to knock you down concerns you.
I'm thinking that's not a good
He
sign.
screams, "You pathetic little youngling dragon want to challenge me, king of the lightning dragons, one of the supreme entities, one of the kings of this world. I admire your animosity and stupidity. Fine. I will show you the pinnacle of strength. And before you can even raise a finger, he opens his mouth, and a purple beam of raw lightning comes shooting out at you. You have 0 time to react, and it smacks you straight in the stomach, enveloping your entire body. You have about 2 seconds of consciousness before you black out and get yeeted across the continent of Castriel. You fly over the Sea of Cassiel, over the Monster Plains, over the Humanoid Alliance, over North and South Island, and straight into the middle of the Great Monster Forest. You don't know how long passed, but eventually... No, you fucking don't have to go, Jamal. Shut the hell up. We all know you don't. We all know you don't. We all know that your ass just has to go fucking to the pool or some stupid shit.
By the way, Jamal, I hope you know I've seen your like conversation.
Literally afford air conditioning. Oh my god. Like, I know your country's poor as shit, but god damn.
Also, I just want to say I've been seeing what you've been sending, Jamal, and yes, I will execute you once you return. You and Elpis both. I hope you know.
Please. I have a family.
No, you
Oh,
don't. You're literally the loneliest person. You're actually, unironically, the loneliest person in the entirety of Althvinhaim.
Dread, listen.
Okay, Alex's character has a girlfriend. Alpus's character has a wife. Dread's character has like a guild, organization he's working for. Crystal's got friends, unlike you. Burb's like an Olympic swimmer. She's got all kinds of friends. Sylvius is fucking everything that moves. You're just like
Yeah.
I have like 2 snarky antisocial.
I wonder where you based those off of. Could not imagine.
Yeah, no, what a.
Because it's true, if we lived in the same dorm together, I would absolutely pick your lock and kick your door down.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It'd be really funny too.
Do we still all know each other in this timeline?
Yes.
This is a long time ago.
Okay, so
Okay,
Dread, Burb, you, and so me, Dread, Burb, Jamal, and you went to the same high school. We met Alex online, but he was a really close friend because he's in Britain. We all went to high school. We went to high school in the same place, but Dread didn't go to college. He split off to the assassination branch. Jamal went to college, I
went to trade school.
Jamal and
Shot.
Sylvia both went to college in different places. Crystal goes to art school. You go to college for become a doctor/surgeon in your own place. Burb's character goes on to become an Olympic swimmer. So we go off to do our own things. We did know each other in high school.
So we all became very successful.
Except for Jamal.
Okay.
Except for Jamal. Except for Jamal.
I'm just a college student. I'm just normal.
Yeah. Anyways, how about you just like put up with the fucking heat, okay?
Yeah.
I'm dying. I'm literally sweating. I'm sweating bullets, man.
And how is the pool gonna help? You get back out, it's gonna be hot again.
It's cold. Well, that's a problem for future Jamal. You know what I mean?
Holy shit! Let's just run it back. You're a fucking loser, Jamal. Anyways, okay, let's run it back.
Okay. Run it back.
You wake up in the Great Monster Forest. Well, you don't know it's the Great Monster Forest, but you wake up in a forest. It's the sun's setting, you can tell by the horizon, but it's hard to see. There are many, many trees around you, circling you. You're next to a river, but that is all you see. There are some plants around you. You hear the rustling of animals and bugs, but you can't see them. What do you do?
Well, first, I think I check my stomach and my chest to see like what kind of damage I took from that lightning blast.
Mm-hmm. You look.
Or I like give it a look around and then I just like check my,
Yeah.
yeah.
You look around you, and you look around you and look at yourself to see if anything happened to you. There is big marks of lightning across. Not wounds, but evidence of the strike shows.
Like a scar.
Yeah. You feel knocked out. You feel pain. Not unbearable, but you know you could not survive an attack like that. And you assume that likely that likely Zierman was holding back because he assumed you were weak. And if he had hit you with full force, you think you probably would have died. Regardless, that won't help you now. And you wake up and decide to get a move on.
I wake up, I just like slap myself in the face like, alright, game time.
More or less. You still
Okay,
don't
right.
know anything about this world. But right now, you're in the middle of a forest and the sun is setting. You gotta find some shelter.
Alright, okay, so you know what? Being an assassin probably comes in handy here. So like I start like instinctually just like stalking about. I use the survival skills and I start eventually making like a small little campfire with like a pathetic shelter if like, it's acceptable essentially.
You, as the sun sets, you work tirelessly to establish a fire, which you get going quickly, and some sticks and leaves to put together a makeshift tent. It's not much, but you at least hope that the natural foliage you use will cover you from anything that might be in this forest. You don't know what's out there. You hope that that maybe the animals here are similar to the world you knew, but considering the god told you this is a world of magic and swords and magic, there might be creatures out there who are much more powerful than you could expect. Regardless, there's no hope in sitting here pondering what's beyond the foliage. You decide to just sit at the camp, wait till day, and begin your journey then.
Okay, alright, so I do that. I like fold myself in with the wings as like makeshift blankets, to keep warm. It's like I'm going to bed essentially.
Yeah. As you wrap your wings around yourself, trying to get any sort of cord, if you feel the fire slowly starting to extinguish as you fall asleep. Hungry, thirsty, not cold, but exhausted. The sound of birds above you and the rustling of animals waking up from their den opens your eyes. You wake up, slip out of your tent, and stretch after a very uncomfortable night of sleeping on your own wings, and wonder, what are you going to do next?
Okay, so let me think about this scenario. Alright, so I decide it is time to get a move on. This is a good little temporary shelter, but probably won't hold out for much longer. So I should probably focus on getting out of this forest if possible. Just like
You consider your options and how to escape. You don't know where you are. You think that the best option would probably be flying. Although not confident in it, you're confident in being able to keep yourself afloat. Do you take the option of attempting to fly out of the forest or attempting to trudge through it on land?
Well, obviously, I'm feeling pretty tired. Obviously, I'm not at my 100%. So I think I would decide, not knowing what else is in this forest, the best choice would be to, fly up and just like land on a tree and just like get a vantage point essentially.
You fly up and land on a tree, and to your dismay, you see nothing. Absolutely nothing but more trees. There is no beach in sight, no ocean in sight. You assume that wherever you are in this woods, you gotta be deep in. You remember that you woke up next to a river. You know that obviously all rivers lead to an ocean. You could choose to follow it, or you could attempt to just fly in a direction and see where it takes you.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I could go with the river and go to an ocean. The problem with that is if I choose the wrong direction, I'm not going to an ocean. I'm going inland, and that's a 50-50. Obviously, if I do go to an ocean, also like what am I going to do realistically? I still won't know where I am exactly, and I won't know somewhere else to fly to. So I choose. You know what? I can make this as safe as possible by simply using my wings and like flying short bursts of distances and like landing on the trees as I go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like short resting stops. That's what I do.
Okay. So, deciding that is in fact the best method, you begin to go in whatever direction you feel like. You don't know where you're going. You just are going. You move across the land, hopping from tree to tree, unable to know where you're going. You're tired, but the short bursts of wings followed by quick resting on a tree, it helps you maintain your stamina, but you know you can't keep this up for long and need to find something. As you travel, you burst your wings again and land on top of this rather tall tree. It's a bit taller than the most, but you assume it's just older. As you sit at the top and perch using your claws and give yourself a second to rest, you feel rustling beneath you. The tree is shaking. You assume that there's likely some sort of animal clawing at the tree, maybe something trying to reach, maybe something trying to get something from the top of the tree, get fruit, whatever. You look down though, and there's no animal. There's no whatever animals are in this world, there's none down there. And so you think, what is making this tree shake? Maybe a woodpecker, maybe a bird, but nothing. And before you know it, you are shaken off the tree, mostly by surprise, as you weren't expecting it, but you quickly fall off the tree, land on your back with a thud. You're fine, your scales protected you, but you look up, and there is a massive hand made from branches extending out to you.
Well, obviously, I'm gonna take this as a bit of a threat. There's this giant moving tree. So what I do is, let's see, what skill could I use, in this situation? Well, you know what? Let's play this one. Let's play this one a bit safe, okay? I use my advanced skill, focus, and I just take this small little branch of time to regenerate a little bit, to heal from the sudden woo.
You feel yourself remembering your skills and channel in and activate the advanced skill focus. You feel your concentration increasing, and you feel yourself regenerating. Immediately, the scar that was left by the Zierman's attack disappears, and you feel all pain and pain inside of you siding away. However, the fatigue and tiredness you had from getting launched and flying all this time has definitely been weighing down on you. However, the physical pain has disappeared. The branch is now roughly a half a meter away from grabbing your entire body. It's definitely large enough to pick you up whole.
Okay, so suddenly, feeling much better, I use this lack of physical injury to shoot up in the air, fly up a bit, and then, like just to see, whoa, what's up with, is like their face? Is there any like defined features I could
You
try
fly
and
up, and the hand attempts to reach you, but it misses by a bit, thanks to your wings. You look down and you see essentially what looks to you like a fucking walking tree. Its roots acting as feet, its branches acting as arms, and what was once a trunk has now opened to a massive gaping mouth, maybe 2 to 3 meters in diameter, easily enough to swallow you whole. You recall a similar story of a myth about dryads and trents you learned in school, and attribute this similar to that. Regardless, it seems to be slow and doesn't really have any defining attacks besides its long and powerful wooden arms. You assume that it can't follow you, seeing that it hasn't tried to reach you in the sky. You can either choose to fight it or run away.
Alright, well, I'm feeling a bit pissed off, kind of, that I was just, like, tossed from the tree. I didn't really do anything to it. I wasn't planning to harm it, but it's trying to beat me up. So I'm going to respond in full, and I'm going to show this fucking extension of nature who's top dog, right? So what happens is, I start instinctively thinking, what other skills can I use? And then I remember that I have this other skill mine, the advanced skill Wraith of Shades, makes me slightly invulnerable for a short period of time. But that should be enough to just like, just if the tree does hit me, I'm gonna be fine, and then I can just like zoom over and just like give a smack to the face or two with some claws,
Mm-hmm. You
See what
activate your
that's
your unique skill, unique ability, unique skills, advanced skill, Wraith of Shades. You feel a black smoke surrounding you, covering your entire body. You feel it covering your hands, your legs, your feet, your face, your body, and it has almost a cozy feeling to it, like a warm hug of evil. And you can tell that you assume that this mantle of shade is likely what's going to keep you protected. Hoping that the skill works, you immediately activate your wings and dive straight towards the Trent thing, hoping to build up enough momentum to just slam into it. You extend the claws on your hands of the dragon, and as hard as you can, aim just above the mouth and punch it straight in the head. The momentum built from the wings, as you punch it, it tries to grab you, and it succeeds in picking you up. However, thanks to the heightened physical prowess you get from Wraith of Shades, you're able to squirm out of its hand, and it is not able to hold a firm grip on you. It then tries to use its mouth to directly eat you, but you're still able to avoid it, moving behind it and taking advantage of the fact that it isn't very maneuverable. You continue to punch it and claw at it with your claws, but it's clear to you that fighting this thing with your claws is as effective as trying to chop down a tree with your bare hands. It's not working.
Okay.
Althus Vex is playing Guilty Gear Strive, by the way, I just like to point out.
Missed opportunity to open up Minecraft, Elpis. Alright, okay, so seeing what's happening and knowing that I do not have much time left, assumingly, I'm just gonna be like, okay, you know what? I hate to say it, but I don't think I really have any skills in my arsenal that allow me to box with a tree at the moment. It doesn't seem feasible, I'll be honest, just like looking I'm looking at a list right now, but mentally my character is just like running through the simulations, he's running the numbers, and it's not adding up. So he chooses, all right, you know what? If it can't follow me, it can't follow me. But unfortunately, I'll tactically retreat for now, and I do that.
Mm-hmm. Realizing, it's a pointless battle, and knowing you only have a few seconds left of Wraith the Shades, you take this opportunity to kick it one last time near the roots, attempting to upend it so it can't follow you, and boost into the sky and get far enough away. Once the tree is clearly out of view, you take a moment to land. The sun is approaching, at this point, the sun is starting to approach its zenith. Using the sun as an indicator, you'd assume that it's around 10 to 11 a.m. Do you continue on your journey? Do you stop and wait? Do you note that you are feeling rather exhausted from that fight? Although Wraith of Shades did give you a temporary physical bonus in both speed and power, it is a temporary boost, and the stamina and strength you expended in that fight is starting to weigh down on you more and more. It's getting harder to fly, and harder to fly, but not impossible yet.
Okay, so noting that, probably using two skills, like completely instinctively, just right off the gate, against an enemy that I couldn't easily beat, while also just like not having ate anything for breakfast or anything, probably isn't the best idea. It's not the soundest type of logic. So in order to be prepared, I keep it up for a little bit, the flying in short bursts across the trees, but eventually I'm just like, okay, I gotta fly to the ground. I've got to do this. So I go to the ground and I start looking. Is there any sort of food that I can see around me? Just
So
like when
you look around you and expecting to just looking for fruits. Really anything. You don't expect to find much, but you just hope that you have enough to get by. You look around and see look around at the trees for anything, any nuts, any fruits, and you find that one of the more common looking trees has some nuts on them. You can try to pick the nuts and eat them, or look for a different tree.
All right, well, I don't think much effort should be expended for nuts, so you know what? Let's roll the dice. I will go to another tree and see if I have anything better.
Okay. Continue going down. Continue going down, walking down the path. As you look for a tree, you see a large, what appears to be Venus flytrap, you think. It looks like a Venus flytrap, that the ones you know from your world, but this one is absolutely massive. It is ridiculously big, maybe 40 times as large as what you're used to. You're pretty far away from it, only barely able to make it out, only thanks to your naturally enhanced eyesight, were you able to make it out. Likely due to some of your passive skills. Do you approach the Venus flytrap, or do you walk a different direction?
Okay, so my brain tells me that there's probably no benefit to trying to mix a Venus flytrap. However, my heart in this scenario is telling me now if I fought this thing, perhaps I could be by some miracle there could be some sort of miracle fruit or plants that is attached to this that makes it worth hunting and killing down. So I choose. You know what? Let's go out and attack the Venus flytrap.
Okay.
That's what I
You
choose.
approach the flytrap, and it's not moving, which you assume makes sense. However, it's clear that the flytrap is waiting for you to approach. You notice it's almost coiled neck. You assume that this thing has a range to snap you, and if one wrong move, and it might snatch you up. You think that even if it manages to grab you, you might be able to escape, but you're not gonna put yourself in that situation. You approach it slowly, and it doesn't move at all. It almost looks dead, which just tells you how much of a good predator it is. You can attempt to attack it from a distance, or approach until it tries to attack you and counter.
Okay, so seeing as I would actually, you know what? There's something I can do. So, last minute, instead of approaching the Venus flytrap, which is almost definitely a bad idea, I look around for something I can throw at it, like a stick or something, just to like see what's its range, like what can it do?
There are countless
That's my
sticks
choice.
on the ground. You just go ahead and break one off of a branch and just kind of throw it at it. It hits the fly trap, and it wavers a bit. Clearly it's alive, that much is obvious, but it doesn't move. Whatever this thing is, it's not a plant. It's obvious to you that this thing has some level of intelligence. Because you know that Venus flytraps from your world, as long as you trigger any of the sensors on the inside of their mouth, they'll close. They're not sentient, they just register feeling and close their mouth. But even though your stick landed directly in the maw of the flytrap, it didn't react. And so you think that maybe there's a different activation point for this flytrap rather than the mouth.
Okay, so just like looking around and seeing that didn't do much, I'm just like taking sticks, rocks, maybe even some like, I don't know, what else is there to chuck, like like rotting wood. I just like toss it around to see
You
if it comes
throw a
up.
bunch, any object you can find at the fly trap. It all bounces off of it. However, a few stray by and hit the ground next to the fly trap. when a big enough rock you picked up lands next to the fly trap, immediately, like almost instantly, within a second or two, the fly trap extends itself and clamps down shut on the rock. And then retracts back. The whole instance taking no more than 2 seconds. After recognizing what is in their mouths is in fact not food, the fly trap opens up and lets the rock go. So you recognize that whatever this plant thing is has sensors around it. You assume it might be their roots, probably, but you don't know. Regardless, you're aware that whatever it is, it can register things from above. Register things walking near it. Which gives you an idea. You think maybe if you attack it from above, it won't realize you're coming. Because at the end of the day, it does seem to just be a plant.
All right. Okay. So I've got this idea. Yes. Let's use these wings, these very useful limbs, and let's fly upwards and try and do what we did with the tree without the to the Trent without the Wraith of Shades ability. Let's like kind of slam down and let's try and like impale it if possible on like the claws.
With your limited knowledge of Venus flytraps, you hope that if you can just tear the two jaws off, you can do it. Whilst your claw, even against the Trent before, your claws were strong enough to put a decent damage in solid wood. So you think up against a plant, you should be fine. You fly up into the sky and hover over the Venus flytrap and slowly begin and approach it cautiously. Like you predicted, it doesn't register you're there and doesn't do anything to attack you, even when technically you should be within its range. Knowing that, you fly up, prepare your claws, and dive down towards it. You head straight into its center, where the center of the jaws are, and land inside of it, and begin clawing at it. You realize that it's not fighting back, because the sensors aren't in its mouth. Realizing that it's not fighting back, you stop your attack on it, realizing that it's harmless.
Okay, so I'm just like looking around inside the mouth. Man, wow, there's no secret fruit or anything that I could eat from here or harvest from it. That's really unfortunate.
There is no fruit, but you do notice that there is some sap inside of the flytrap, and you recall that the flytraps in your world would use a sweet nectar to attract bugs towards them. You wonder if this might be the same, how it attracts animals to approach its roots.
So, assuming it would taste good, right? Like it smells good, it tastes good to attract other creatures.
Don't know if it tastes good.
Okay. So, you know what? Looking at it, I'm just like looking around. Wow, there isn't really much in here, but that sap. This interesting fact I remember immediately comes to mind. So I decide let's risk it. And I just like kind of bend down to just like lick the sap just once to see what's up with that.
Knowing that the flytrap is massive, considering your body, one of their jaws is larger than your entire body, there's a lot of sap to be had. Multiple, maybe a large bowl full, if not more. You lay down on the thing, bend over, and lick the sap. It reminds you of honey, but it's not yellow, it's more of an orange color. Deeper orange than honey. It tastes sweet, with herbaceous notes, almost like mint. Has almost a cooling feel to it. Regardless, it tastes good.
Okay, well, seeing that, I decide I have this revolutionary idea. I fly up and out of the fly trap, just trying to like savor the taste of the sap, and I try and see, if my claws are strong enough to carve at Venus flytraps that are monster size and also Trents, perhaps I could like maybe like rip off some wood and try and like carve it into like some sort of awful makeshift bowl. Just like let's see what happens.
You look for a tree that has started to sprout. You find a one that's like tall-ish, but it's still not that large. It has about a diameter of about half a foot. You take your claws and essentially use them as saws. You cut away at the base of the tree. It takes maybe 20 minutes, but you get it done. The tree falls over, and you go ahead and cut off a small log, roughly 6 inches in diameter, maybe about a meter long. You place the log down and essentially just start digging into it. You take your claws and you just start gnashing into the thing. Just clawing at it. It takes maybe an hour to fully excavate this wood into anything resembling a bowl, but you do it. It looks big enough to store it, and so you fly back to the fly trap, and since the honey is sticky enough, you can just scoop it up in your hands, and you fill this really shitty makeshift bowl with the honey thing.
Alright. Alright, well, you know what?
It looks
After
it
all
looks
that...
sad, you note to yourself.
Looking at this, I briefly think, you know what? I'm not having a future in craftsmanship. So... So what I do is, you know, I'm feeling like slightly hungry, and you know, I have this bowl, if we can even call it that. It's like a bowl in quotation marks, filled with this sap, honey substance. So you know, I take a little bit and I like grab like a small handful. I just like eat that because I'm feeling a bit famished, you know.
You eat it.
And
You eat the honey. It's sweet. It tastes good. And regardless of how nutritional it is to eat pure, what is essentially honey, regardless, it fills you up. You feel full
Alright.
after eating a handful, albeit a bit diabetic to yourself.
Well, you know what? Heart viruses I won't have to worry about for another few years.
And regardless, you feel full. Now the only thing that's really bothering you is your thirst, and also the exhaustion from flying, which is slowly going away. As although your hands are definitely extremely tired from clawing out a fucking bowl from a log, your wings are feeling more ready and prepared to fly.
Alright, okay, so yeah, knowing that my hands are like really tired, you know, I just decide to place down the honey bowl, and you know, I think, you know, take a very small nap. Surely this won't like go wrong in any way, right?
Surely it won't go wrong.
Surely. Because you know, I'm just feeling a bit tired, just a small little nap.
A bit tired, yeah. So you lay down next to the fly trap, just kind of chilling there. It's dead. You checked the roots beforehand, and you lay down and you quickly fall asleep. You wake up, not sure how long later, but looking at the sun, it was maybe a bit past noon when you fell asleep. Now the sun is about halfway to sunset, which indicates to you maybe around 4 p.m., 3 to 4 p.m. You're woken up by the sound of a howl in the woods. Kind of sounds like a wolf. However, there seems to be a lot of them. Well, not a lot, but a few. Like maybe 3 to 5 wolves howling in succession. You assume it must be a small pack of animals, and you're not sure if they're hunting you or if they're hunting something else. You can either fly away and not worry about them, or approach with the prospect of meat in mind.
Alright, okay, well, obviously we all know that just honey, it's not nutritional on its own. There's no surf there. Is there even turf there? Probably not. So you know what? We gotta get the nutrition for like as nutritional as it gets in the forest, and you know what's more nutritional than meat. So you know, like looking at the bowl of honey that I'm assuming is just like still there somehow. I'm just like, yeah, all right, you know what? I can work with this. So I like slowly, because I'm feeling a bit more replenished from the nap, I'm like slowly just approaching the wolves.
Yeah. You approach the wolves with the honey in your hands for some reason, and approach the howling. You reach a small outcropping where there is a hill, and what appears to be a den. This part of the woods in particular, you note, is very heavily wooded. More thick than you already experienced. Granted, most of these woods have been generally pretty thick, but this part of the woods, it's really hard to even see past 2 or 3 trees. You come to a little outcropping with a small hill and a cave dug in. You assume this is where the wolves are. Do you enter, scout, or something else?
I take the honey in my hands and then I like place it down and just like fly up into a tree to see what's up.
You
A
place
little
the
bit
honey
of
down,
trap.
attempting to lure these wolves out and activate your wings and fly on top of a tree. You wait patiently, and eventually the wolves come out. What comes out surprises you. There is not, in fact, a wolf family or a wolf pack living in this place. It's only 2 wolves. But each wolf has 3 heads. Each head seemingly acting on their own, almost independently of each other. The larger and what appears to be more powerful wolf has grayer, almost white fur, and what appears to be the youngling of the group has darker gray, almost black fur. They have 3 pairs of legs, and what appears to be 2 legs for each head, and approach the honey. The wolves sniff the honey eagerly, but also cautiously. They don't know who the hell put this here, and so they're not sure. After looking around, thinking it's safe, they begin to lick the honey.
Little do they realize, I'm coming out, I'm flying out, and you know what? Uh, I'm feeling extra replenished, so what's a skill I could use here that's worked for me? I'm thinking the Wrath of Shades with its like very very short little cooldown. I could use for just a little bit to go in, tackle the wolves like I did with the Trent, but this time since they are wolves and not fucking bark, there should be some sort of
I would like to
it should work out
like
better.
have other combat skills.
No, yeah, I know. It's just like I could use the Iron Skin.
Or
That's what I'm
double-edged
thinking.
sword.
Or double-edged sword.
Literally
You know,
swords, but
literally. So I could do that too. Actually, you know what? Let's not get hasty here. Seeing these options. Let's see. Yeah, stop being such like a good RPG player or D&D player.
like
Shut up,
look through
shut
your
up, shut up.
skills.
Me prepared in advance? Never.
Real.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, so looking at these wolves on the ground from my vantage point up in the bark of not bark, the branch of the tree, I'm feeling like, what instinctively do I think could work in this situation? And looking at the advanced skill in my mind, I remember suddenly Grace of Thy Worm. Now, what does that do? Rapid speed. I suddenly, channeling this skill, I feel like it could work out a little bit for me. Because, who needs the Wraith of Shades when I can just not get hit in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I move super fast, aiming to like disable the wolves. Maybe break a leg, tear at it, claw at it, stuff like that. The wolves just
Yeah.
yeah, ruin their movement a little bit. That's what I plan to do.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out why
Alright.
the bot is stuck. Why it's offline. Because NeroBot isn't offline on Paradox, but it's offline here.
That is very interesting.
I'm gonna kick Nero. I'm gonna re-invite them, see if I can get them to work. Wow, yeah, I'm human. That's crazy.
No, you're actually a robot.
Yeah, why is Nero offline? What the hell?
That's weird. What the
Why
hell?
is /play? Like if I just /play something, it's not gonna work because it says the application did not respond. Hold on, let me do some googling.
What the fuck? What does Paradox have here that the server doesn't?
On one server, but working on the other. Yeah, I'm confused. That's like half the fucking aspect of this shit. God damn it. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that Nero bot does have like all the roles. I'm gonna go to.
Welcome
joining.
back.
I'm joining nerosupport.com.
I've never heard a sadder sentence in my whole
I
life.
see the music bot and like all the different ones.
I'm fucking.
Yeah, so let me run it
Nero's
down
being
for
a
you.
bitch.
Nearobot, we need it, and it is not needed right now. It said
Hey,
peace and just disappeared like you did. So we need a new music bot or Nero to get back online, either or.
No. Hold on. There are different Nero bots. What if I invite a different new one? Well, I'll invite Nero too. Hear me out.
Invite Nero's replacement.
If imagine this works, I'm actually gonna cry if this works.
Can I hold you to it?
Nero 2 worked! Holy shit! We just replaced them, boys!
I just see Nero getting booted out. Alright, sorry, Nero.
Wait, now does it work? Please work. There's no way this just works. Mother! I just have to get a new Nero. It's just... Okay. Well, anyways, let's get back to it. I'm gonna scream before I... Anyways.
You need to take a tissue for your tears, by the way,
Kill
Connor.
yourself.
I promise you'd cry if it worked.
Okay. So, you use... Which skill did you say you wanted to use again?
Thy Grace of the Worm.
Okay.
Or Grace of Thy
You
Worm.
activate the event skill, Grace of Thy Worm, and immediately begin. And from the skies, you delve onto the two, basically Cerberuses. Which one do you tear to aim for?
The older one, obviously. More of a
Okay.
threat.
You attack what appears to be the older and larger of the two Cerberuses, the one with the lighter skin. But before they even know what's coming, one of the heads looks up and sees you, but it's far too late. You dash straight into him, tearing apart their back and ripping out their spine. Instant death, and you land directly on the ground. The older wolf crumples over, and the other wolf immediately jumps to attack you. All three of its heads aiming for a different part of your body to bite. How do you respond?
Alright, so how I respond is with the skill Iron Skin. I channel that instead.
You activate iron. You activate Iron Skin, and and your entire body, and mainly your scale, becomes incredibly hard. The wolves try to bite you, and you feel the bite, but you don't feel pain. Similarly to it feels like when a pit bull bites you when you have protective coating on. The wolves are trying. The three heads are trying to bite you, and you're kind of just blocking. What do you do next?
So, you know, now that the wolf has basically come to me, I'm gonna be a bit gruesome here, and I'm just gonna, like, try and fucking dissect it, you know, blood splattering everywhere. Like, I clawed fist straight through the heart, I'm just, like, ripping it out and shit.
As the wolves bite you, you take the buff you still have from Grace of Thy Worm, and plunge your claws into its lower chest, like the floor, just below its neck. You take your claws and rip it straight open, and just delve your hand in for any pulsing object. You feel one, grab it, and rip it out. The heart of the beast is taken out, and it has maybe a second left of consciousness before it collapses on the ground. Your entire body is now covered in blood, but the two wolves are dead.
I see, yeah, so I'm just, like, reveling in the victory, just like, man, this feels good. This is what I live for right here, man. The success, the thrill of the fight.
Yeah.
Yes, this is how it
Instead of
goes.
going to the pool, probably just like sat in an air-conditioned room for 20 minutes and came back.
Oh no, he's definitely like sitting in the pool
This is
room instead of
untrue.
going into the actual thing.
Yeah.
I totally did not take an hour to get a fan or something.
Holy shit!
No, let's actually do it. Let's actually do it. I swear. I actually swear.
Anyways,
You're next. The
you're
wolves
reveling
were-
in the fact that you are now covered in blood. What do you do?
Bloodlust and all that. So, you know, obviously, I'm just like, I don't even bother to clean myself with blood, honestly. I'm just like getting in, just straight fucking carving the wolves apart and just like getting meat. I'm eating it raw, yes, you know, dragonborn shit and all that.
You hope to God that you can eat raw meat and begin just tearing into the flesh of these wolves. You find the parts that are actual meats, similar to a cow, and just start devouring it. You take a bite, and it tastes how you'd expect raw meat to taste. Like shit. There is no particular taste to it. The taste you're used to of cooked meats is not there. There's no seasoning. It just feels like biting into some squishy, hard membrane. No fat, none of the fat is rendered out. Regardless, it's food. And it's actually good food. So you eat it, you shove it down your throat until you can't take any more. You finish maybe half of the larger wolf until you can't eat anymore. Still covered in blood that is starting to dry.
Okay, so yeah, that probably isn't gonna be a good thing to just be splattered in blood. So I probably immediately I just like fly up into the air looking for a sort of river nearby.
You see a
Some sort
river
of
close
water
by and
source.
fly towards it and land next to it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna basically I'm gonna take a bath essentially, just
Yeah.
get all the blood off because that's probably not good for the long-term
Yeah.
health.
You take off your clothes to wash that individually and step into the river and quickly wash all the blood off of you. You then take the time to essentially let the clothes soak in the water and get all the blood off. You can either put them back on wet or keep them out to dry with a fire
Well,
if you wanted to.
Honestly, I think I'll just like. I mean, can I just like put them back on and just like dry them by flying through the air?
Could.
That's probably not the best option, but you know what? Hey, let's risk it.
You put
Let's
the
do
clothes
that.
back on and begin to take flight when you notice something coming out of the woods. Clearly the large amount of blood, may I add, that you washed off is attracting other monsters. It's another one of the wolves you saw wandering around. It sniffs the blood, curious as to what it is, and then notices you but doesn't seem to tend to fight you. It walks away, eating plants on the ground as it disappears into the woods again.
That's a surprise tool that will come back to haunt me in the future later. I can haphazard a guess. Okay, so I'm feeling I had some honey, had some raw meat. The diet has seen better days, but it's a diet. That's what we can describe it as. So you know what? Probably feeling a little bit tired from using 2 skills in succession, but that's fine. You know what? We can go back to the short burst flying over trees method. So we'll do that. See if we can.
You continue
see if we can see anything.
Yeah, you continue to do short bursts over the trees. When suddenly you feel the sun begins to set, and you realize you try to take a break soon, and suddenly something catches your eye. It appears to be a man, you think. A human, possibly, but this human has horns. Now, considering the fact that you're a dragon, you assume that there are likely races in this world that, are human. And so you think it might be one of those. So you can either choose to attempt to converse with the beast, or leave it alone.
Okay, well, you see, I'm thinking. Let's have a convert. Well, actually, give me a second. I need to think about this a bit more deeply.
Oh, Jamal's poor squeamish little mind couldn't handle pulling the heart out of a wolf. Oh, poor.
Oh no, fucking! I'm warning you, because one characteristic. If you've seen all of my character skills, there's wrath. He gets a bit bloodlust.
Yeah.
A bit bloodlusted. That's an
blood
entire
is, blood is
skill.
pretty sexy, I admit.
So this is like a start essentially. Once he starts more tapping into it, he's gonna slowly start to deviate less from an assassin and more to like a warrior when it comes to fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that was very skillful, very much like we went in and just like ended it quickly, but it's not going to be like that next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm busy playing Gario like a Chad. I'm not kidding. See, look. See, here's what I think, right? If you can hear me.
Ready, Jared?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah. What's he thinking? Okay.
Okay.
Anyways.
Ain't no way Steve posted Luna.
You said sexy wolf.
That's fair.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know why. I feel like the more I know
All right.
someone,
So
the
yes,
least.
I'm ready. Shush you. I will storm you. Anyways, I choose with a bit of caution to like approach this humanoid creature. I'm just like. Since everything else is trying to, I'm like approaching it with the same caution as the wolves who tried to eat the honey, like cautious, but enthusiastic. Well, not enthusiastic, more just like interested to see potential contact, right? So I go in.
Yeah. You approach the humanoid-looking creature, and notice that it's a minotaur. They have the body of what appears to be a bull, less of a horse, more of a bull, and the upper body of a man. You've seen these things in mythology before, and know that they are able to converse. However, you're not sure if the same thing translates here. As you approach, you hop off the treetops and begin to walk towards it. It notices you, and without even saying a word, immediately charges at you with a spear in its hand.
Okay, so I'm guessing then it probably thinks I'm either some sort of beast or is the beast. So with that assumption of mine, I choose to engage in conversation. I like dodge back a little bit, hands up in like a false surrender gesture as I go. Whoa, there's no need for fighting right now. I just want to have a conversation.
The minotaur looks at you and only utters a few words: dragon, enemy, kill, and charges you again. Whatever this thing is, you can quickly tell it's not that smart. And has minimal intelligence.
Alright, since it sees me as a dragon enemy to kill, I don't think engaging in further conversation will be plentiful, so here comes the best part, fighting. And not just any fighting, pointless fighting, because I had food earlier. So, obviously dodging back from Minotaur, I like fly up into the air to see, what's it gonna try next? What's its next plan of attack?
You fly up into the air, but before you can get a few feet off the ground, he throws his spear at you at incredible speed, too fast for you to dodge it, but not fast enough to where you can't see it coming.
Okay, if I see it coming, then does that mean like I could try to catch it midair? No, could I attempt that?
You could try.
Well, it's either that or I just like. Actually, you know what? I'll stop being reckless. So you know what? I activate the Iron Skin skill.
You activate Iron Skin and cloak yourself in a powerful scales. However, your concentration isn't completely there, and so the spear hits you and manages to pierce your skin. It's no more than a flesh wound, but damn does it hurt. The spear penetrates your skin, inflicting a small wound, and falls out. It lands in the Minotaur's hand. It's clear that he's experienced with this spear, and as evidenced by the throw and the catch. You know that likely, unlike the wolves you fought, who just bite at you with no intelligence, although this beast can't communicate well, it knows how to fight.
Alright, well, let's see, what other, obviously, I'm gonna use, the advanced skill Focus, just to, like, heal that small wound.
You activate your advanced skill Focus, and as you ascend slightly higher to the sky to gain a bit more of an advantage, and begin to regenerate. As the wound begins to heal up and stop bleeding, you see that he's priming another throw.
Alright, well, here's what I do, right? I'm gonna use my skill Foresight to see what he'll do before he does it, and see. Is it possible for me to catch it in the future? That's what I'll try.
You activate Foresight, and a weird vision overwhelms you. You weren't quite sure how this skill was going to work when you picked it, but now is a good chance. It's almost like things are going in slow motion. You see the real world around you is moving slower, but you see things faster. And so in the 5 seconds the 5 seconds pass, and you see that the spear is thrown at you, aiming for your shoulder, likely to attempt to clip your wings. Seeing that it's going to aim for your shoulder, and its speed lowering because of how high you are, you realize that you can likely catch the spear. Realizing this, foresight ends, and as foresight ends, the Minotaur throws his spear.
Okay, so I twist to try and like catch it at the side. That's what I attempt to do.
You turn to the left, where the sword. You turn your body to the left, and the spear flies past you, and you grab it roughly in the middle. The Minotaur is clearly surprised, did not expect, not understanding how you predicted its moves. You now have the spear.
Okay, now with the spear in hand, you know, I'm feeling like slightly more confident. So, you know, honestly, I don't think fighting the Minotaur with his own weapon is a good idea. So I just like fly a little bit higher, and then I like chuck it to another part of the forest with as much strength as I can muster for the throw.
You throw the spear with as much accuracy as you can, and it soars away. Although your technique isn't the greatest, the sheer height you have allows for it to travel far enough away. The Minotaur is unable to follow the spear.
Alright, now seeing that, I'm just like, I fly back down, ready, primed to fight, hands out. Like, I'm gonna box, but not really. So, you know, that's what I do next.
The Minotaur, realizing that you're ready to fight, charges at you. His fists ready for a hand-to-hand combat. Although it's clear he was very proficient with the spear, I guess that based on his demeanor, he definitely knows his way around hand-to-hand combat as well. Furthermore, his bull lower body means that he's going to be ramming you with a lot of force if you let him charge into you.
Okay, so what I'll attempt right now is I'll beckon him forward with a come at me gesture, and then I'll like try and use my ability Grace of Thy Worm to like dodge out of the way by a second, and then like deliver a slash right to like his bull lower side as he's like coming by.
You taunt him to come forward, and as he approaches, you activate Grace of Thy Worm in an attempt to move to the side of you. As you dash to the right in an attempt to slash at him, you feel his fist ram into your chest. After seeing you dodge to the left in the sky, he correctly predicted your moves to dodge him again and attack him. Realize that he slams into you, and Grace of Thy Worm slightly cushions the hit, but it still hurts. You've taken a direct blow straight to the chest without any protection, and you go flying into a tree. Your back slams into a tree. There's no broken bones, but you're definitely bruised. You can probably take a few more of these attacks, but you definitely don't want to. Grace of the Worm ends.
Alright, let me just write some stuff down before I continue on with this fight sequence.
And keep in mind, this is before we even have magic. Once we get magic into this is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
While listening to this, like, realizing that Dre gets to go first because he didn't bother to ask. Jamal moment for Whisper. Yeah, I'm gonna make every fight sequence so easy for you.
Yeah, obviously, you know, we're gonna have a bit of fun with it. Where are these A's that you're sending in low discussion?
Look, I need to send that, so when I switch to this tab, I'm gonna make you hang. Oh god, stop.
Okay, so this Minotaur is a creature
Just switching to
of
another tab. You know what? I'm good.
I don't know, you kind of brought this upon yourself. Alright, okay, so So I'm not in a good state of
Okay,
mind.
what's
Just taking a blow to the chest. These are two blows to the chest so far in this entire
Yeah,
sequence.
yeah. You like
Uh,
you're not very good at protecting that part of your body.
Yeah, no, like this better not become a running theme. But what's happening is, you see, after taking such a blow, landing against the tree, probably, not having a fun time. Blood probably came out of my mouth there, just like from how hard the impact was. I'm choosing, okay. Maybe there could be some benefit to gaining distance and just like running rings around the Minotaur, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I activate thy grace of thy worm yet again, but this time just
on
like
cooldown.
the distance. Oh, it's on cooldown. Fuck, that's right. All right. Well, you know what? Let's try advanced skill, double-edged sword instead. So I create the two swords, and then I'm just like I send them I send one at the Minotaur and just like run at him after doing that with the other, so that way I can like send it to where he dodges.
Mm-hmm. You activate the advanced skill double-edged sword and summon two swords made of your aura around you. You order one of the swords to charge straight forward at the Minotaur who has turned around and is now charging at you again to attack him. You hold the other sword in your hand and begin charging towards him. The Minotaur obviously dodges the first sword that was aimed at his right side and moves to the left. Now, but you still have control over the sword, although the Minotaur doesn't seem to understand that. You still have one sword in your hand, and you are maybe 3 seconds away from clashing.
Alright, so what happens is I take the sword and I fucking like pierce his hand coming at him with the sword. Like straight through the knuckle bones is what I'm doing, right? So that's what the sword in my hand. Can I control the other one?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously that's just like going off. Okay. So I'm just like doing this while I'm doing this. Suddenly it comes to mind, hey, can I control the sword? So I attempt it. Make it like stop midair, I guess. Is that possible? Just like mentally.
Yeah, you have control over them.
Okay, so knowing that I have control over it now, while I'm just like, I've got the Minotaur stuck, like hand fucking pierced with the blade, and probably very painful. I like take the other sword coming around, and I fucking send the sword into his ass. Jamal's watching this like,
Okay.
what the fuck?
So you order the second sword to come around, and as it's coming around from behind, you prepare your first sword to stab the Minotaur's hand. You attempt to cut at the hand that's about to punch you. However, the Minotaur, clearly an experienced monster, manages to avoid the cut and manages to hit you in the arm with your sword. However, the secondary ability of the advanced skill double-edged sword activates, and the punch is reflected back at the Minotaur at the cost of the sword in your hand. The punch reflects back at the Minotaur in the chest, knocks him back, and as he's knocked back, the sword that that you ram the other sword up his ass. I didn't know you were into that, but okay.
No, it just sounds very painful.
It goes up
That's
and
all.
completely like cuts through his bowels and tears through his intestines. It continues to attempt to push its way through its body, but ends up losing momentum and gets lodged near their vital organs.
Alright, that doesn't sound like a fun... Well, hey, it's effective.
The Minotaur screams in pain.
And no, he screams in pain, I wonder. Alright. Okay, so that having happened, right? Let's see, what else can I use now?
People listen to this like, pardon?
He's listening to this like, okay, no, it's a self, don't fight Dread in the future. Okay, so like while I'm doing this, I'm gonna marshal up the last dredges of my strength, right? And I'm gonna take both claws and I'm gonna try and fucking tear at his like definitely toned chest. Let's make it extra painful. Claws out, just absolute bloodshed. You know, there's no holding back anymore.
Yeah.
No holding back.
With the momentum of the Minotaur stopped by the secondary ability of double-edged sword, and the other sword demolishing their lower inside, basically crippling their hind legs. You activate your claws and just begin to tear at the Minotaur. He still attempts to punch you back, however. However, with his incapacitated state, he's unable to deliver strong enough punches to knock you back. However, you still have to be cautious as they still do hurt. You claw into his chest, similarly how you did to those Cerberuses, and attempt to successfully rip out his heart. The Minotaur collapses on the ground and dies.
Okay, yeah, I'm just like, I let out a small, like it's building up from like a small just like laugh, or like chuckle of pure disbelief to a laugh of just like elated victory. You know, just maniacal in every way. I just want to point that out. That's what I'm doing right now, reveling in the victory. I've just beaten up a bull man. Absolutely worth it.
I'm just filling up lore discussion with these just to fuck with Jamal.
Oh, you know, absolutely. I'm not even surprised you have these.
Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Okay, so yeah, after that laughter, I'm just like looking down and probably covered in blood yet again.
Yes, you are.
But you know, at this point, I'm just like, well, back to the river, boys.
Yeah. You fly up, continue hopping across the trees till you see a river, and repeat the process you did earlier.
Alright, so after that, you know, I'm still gonna attempt to dry my wetted again clothes midair, you know, flying around, breeze. So while I try to make way to civilization, wherever that may be, if I even am.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
So you put on the wet clothes, continue to fly. It's still cold, so it feels really uncomfortable to wear these clothes. But the scales protect you from getting any hypothermia. As you fly, the wind slowly starts to dry off your clothes. However, considering it's not the summer, it's not that effective. Regardless, it works fine enough. You continue to hop across the trees when suddenly you hear the sound of yelling. But this time it's not monster howling or anything along those lines. It's the sound of a person. It's a deep guttural voice. It kind of sounds like a kind of you'd expect from a construction worker. It's coming from just ahead of you. You think it might be people.
Well, there is no well, I mean, I've already seen like the Minotaur who can speak, so you know, I'm just like, I briefly stopped just to consider. Okay, could be another Minotaur, another bullman, or it could be actual people. And you know what? Let's give it a shot. It's probably not going to be.
All right. You charge you fly forward, pushing the voice, and land near where you hear it. And as you land, it starts to go silent until you hear someone say, "Hey, is anyone there? I need some help. I was chopping down this tree and it landed on my cart, and I need to get it off to get this cart. You over there, could you please help me?" You hear the voice.
Yeah, the animatronics get a bit quirky. No, I'm kidding.
You hear the voice coming from the right of you. Whoever it is can apparently see you, but you can't see them. Maybe they're just more tuned to the forest than you are. Whatever it is, they're calling out for you to help them fix their cart.
Right. Okay. So I'm just like, well, I would love to right now. However, could you come out and show me where it is, please? Because I know it's, you know, if he can see me and he's not coming out, that's a bit sus, isn't it?
He says, I'd really love to, but I need this cart fixed. It's right over here. If you could just come on over. Just turn around the that bend. He seems to be, his voice seems to be echoing towards a little cut through the forest. You just go around there and peek around. You'll see me. I'm trying to make sure this thing doesn't fall apart. If I take my hands off it, it might break.
Ah, very well. I'll be there in a second. I say immediately, no hesitation, activating my skill stealth, and just like going around the back to see, hey, you know, Let's is this guy telling the truth? That's what I do.
You activate stealth and go around and do see a broken cart. There is in fact a broken cart. There is a tree over it, but there is no person on the cart. And it's just an empty cart. However, you do notice that there are goods in the cart. He says, you hear the voice call out to you. The voice call out to you again. Yeah, the cart's right over here, just coming over. I'm behind the cart. I'm just holding this piece of plywood together.
Yes, this is not suspicious whatsoever. Alright, so you know what? Seeing the goods at the cart, reluctantly, very, very reluctantly, just like completely ready for an ambush, I like step out and just like go for the cart.
As you approach the cart, the voice says, yeah, could you just grab some branches and sticks? I got some twine here I can use to tie it together. It's over there on that tree. You just like, well, any tree will work, really. I just need something.
Okay, I go over to a tree away from the voice and like start carving at it a little bit.
Before you know what's happening, suddenly a beast jumps out at you from behind the cart, screaming at you.
Wow, crazy how that works.
And as you're picking the branches, you hear it, turn around, and there is a massive red beast lunging itself at your face. You got maybe 0.5 seconds to react.
I tossed the branches I was carving out directly at the guy's face with the fucking force of a surprise man.
You throw the branches at them, and the beast chomps the branches in half. However, it stops it from being able to bite you. It lands in front of you and charges towards you.
Yes, you need help with that card. Is that right, you dense motherfucker? I say immediately, just like flying up into the air.
Yeah. The beast no longer seems to be talking. It just roars gutturally at you, and you take this time to quickly acknowledge what you are looking at. It's a long, double-jointed creature with pure red, burnt skin, serrated claws, and spiraled horns. It has a face with a very large mouth, as when you saw it bite, you could definitely tell it could open its jaw very wide. It has eye sockets, but no eyes. However, clearly it can see as it is looking at you as you're up. It seemed to stop talking at this point. Regardless, it is whatever it is, it's trying to kill you.
Okay. Alright, okay, let's see, what else, what is there?
As you ponder what to do against this beast, you are able to see into the cart with your draconic sight, and notice that, whilst obviously this beast is not an actual person, it probably likely attacked whoever this cart belonged to, and there may be important goods in that cart.
I see. So with that in mind, can I just like fly over it and towards the cart to like try and get the items?
You fly over the cart as the beast continues to just trail you right underneath you. And as you hover over the cart, it just starts circling the cart, knowing what you're trying to do. Clearly, this thing is the most intelligent thing you've encountered so far. Obviously, it was able to mimic human speech.
Yes, that was pretty...
You look into the cart, and you can see a couple sacks, a few vials, and a chest. It's a small chest, handheld wooden box, the kind of stuff you'd put family heirlooms in.
Okay.
But it's obvious that there will not be enough time to just dive down and grab it before the beast claws at you.
Alright, with that in mind, I activate my advanced skill of Winged Metamorphosis. And then, I just like, with that, while it's activating, I fly over and just like land, waiting for it to come at me while the transformation's happening.
Right. You activate the advance. Why is it spelled advanced, not advanced? I just realized that.
That is a good question.
What the fuck? I didn't realize that.
When did this happen?
You activate the advanced skill Winged Metamorphosis and begin to change. You can feel your speed and your strength gaining, you can feel your scales hardening, you can feel the dragon's power charging through you. Your horns become larger, your wings become more powerful, your claws stronger. You land a decent bit away from the cart, hoping to damage it, and the beast immediately charges towards you, claws bared, fangs gnash.
We're about to go in with like a whole bloody little sequence. Right, I tilt my head down, horns up as I like charge at it myself, with just like I have my head tilted up just enough to like see where it is as I, fully prepare to ram it.
You charge towards the beast, your horns extended. You slam into it, and your horns, and with its jaw was open, trying to crush you. You slam your horns into its upper jaw. Its lower jaw tries to close to crush you, but you quickly catch it with your hand and pull it down, ripping off the lower jaw. It is still scrambling to attack you, and uses its elongated hands and attempts to claw at you, but they're unable to pierce your scales. You now have your horns. Your horns are currently piercing its upper jaw, basically immobilizing the beast, whilst its hands are frantically clawing at your armored arms.
Right, so here's what I'm doing. I with my hands, or claws rather, I guess at this point, I would grab its own claws, and I would just like pull it down towards me in an attempt to just like pull its head so that my horns can like pierce its brain or whatever it has.
Your horns are not inside its head; you're inside its jaw.
Oh, jaw. Yeah. Okay. So like how do I describe this then? This is a. Okay, what I'm trying to like do is like have the horns like pierce through the jaw, and just like actually, one moment, there is an option. So right after doing that, I decide to try and pull my horns out of its head. See how that works.
You grab its arms with your claws, using it as leverage, and pull your horns out, subsequently also dislocating the creature's arms.
Okay.
You pull out a chunk of flesh from their jaw, although considering you've already completely taken off their lower jaw, they won't be able to bite you anymore.
Alright, good. So like, it's getting a bit bloodlusty, a bit of bloodlust here, a bit bloodthirsty. That's what I'm starting to get. So you know what? Without me even realizing, skill bloodlust activates. So at this point, like I know I'm Victor, so I'm just like menacingly smiling as I just like start ripping and just making this creature's day absolute living hell, essentially.
Yeah.
It's not going to be living soon without like tearing it. Yeah.
So you bloodlust although you don't realize it, bloodlust activates as a passive skill, and your sadistic and other bloodlustful desires begin to heighten. Before you know it, since the creature's limbs have been dislocated, you proceed to slowly rip them off. You rip off one limb at a time, and then go to their legs. And after a bit, they're just nothing more than a body and an upper jaw. It's clear that they're still alive, obviously, but they're losing blood quickly. You continue to claw at the creature, tearing out chunks of flesh from the sides and the top and the face, making sure it suffers as much as possible before it dies. Eventually, the wounds you inflict on it accumulate so much that it dies of blood loss.
Okay. Alright, so, after that, I'm assuming just like it suddenly hits me, well, I just went full out. I was seeing red at that point. Damn. So like I dropped the winged metamorphosis skill.
Yeah, winged metamorphosis ends.
And I think obviously bloodlust will end at this point. It's like, whoa.
Bloodlust only activates during battles.
Okay. Alright, so once that happened, I was just like, wow, man, I'm even more covered in blood somehow.
Yeah, no, literally.
So, yet again, for like, what is this, the third time? Fourth time? Okay, so I go over to a river and yet again, clean myself off of the blood, because if it dries, that wouldn't set a good impression if I like actually met someone.
It would not.
Obviously. this dragonborn flies in, blood all, like dried blood all over him. Like, no, so I...
Reminder, there are still goods you have to collect from the cart.
Oh yeah, so like, noting that my hands are like obviously a bit bloody, I hold them out to the side and start just wildly shaking the blood that I can shake like off, so it isn't as bad. So that when I pick up the goods, it's not like covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do.
You can always just
And
go
then
the river first, and then the goods. But
I could, but you know, let's take it with me. So I do that. I take
Alright.
it with me. Like, you know, let's then fly over to a river nearby.
you basically pick up the cart because there are too many goods to carry at once. For now, and basically just drag the cart over to a river. You seem strong enough to be able to pick it up, and go over to a river and wash the excess blood off of you. Once again, your clothes are soaked.
I think this time I'll switch it up a little bit and like prepare a fire to heat him up faster.
Yes, mostly because the sun is in fact now basically setting.
Yeah.
The sun is setting. It's almost nighttime. You set up a small fire and begin to dry your clothes. In the meantime, the cart sits next to you with the goods.
Okay. Let me just quickly write this down in the memories. You know, recent memories. Funny how that goes.
Yeah. You get it, bro. You don't gotta type an essay. Goddamn.
Oh, I gotta type an essay, Connor. You know, this is gonna be on the test.
We will have Jeopardy weekly, but
Hey, editor's note: we never had Jeopardy weekly, so this is just gonna put that out there.
It's gonna be on the test, Connor. I didn't study for the test, Connor. Don't worry, I'm almost done. Alright, okay, so I'm ready. What was the scenario again?
you had just dried off your clothes in the fire, and the cart is next to you.
Okay, so, you know, I'm probably very tired right now, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So I will like slowly search around for some like nutritional like plants or something to eat.
Mm-hmm. So you search around for some plants. You notice that there's still the trees that you saw when you first arrived that had the nuts on them. These appear to be the most common tree in the forest. There are some plants, but as far as you can see, that there's nothing on the ground like a berry bush or something that's particularly obviously edible.
Alright, well at this point I'm willing to try most anything, so I just fly up and grab the nuts and just like start eating them once I can.
Okay, you fly up and grab. So you fly up to grab some nuts. However, you bite into them. Clearly, it's a shell. You bite the pod, and it's covered. The pod itself is covered in white hairs. Clearly, whatever this nut is, you'll need to crack it open.
Alright, well I go back to the fireplace then with some of the nuts in hand as I like start cracking them up to see what's inside.
You just grab like a rock and your claws and just crack the nut open, and inside are this rather large pod, might I add. You probably only fit maybe 3 in your hand at best, and inside are 2 large nuts. They look edible. You take out the 2 large nuts inside the pod and eat them, and yeah, they're edible. They taste kind of like walnuts to you, but less brittle and more firm.
Okay. Alright, so I guess I'll eat that for a very unfulfilling dinner as I prepare my bed rest.
Okay. You eat the nuts, and although it's not much, it's something. And so you begin to drift off to sleep once again comfortably in your own wings. You drift off to sleep, and eventually wake up to the sounds of birds in the sky and the river flowing next to you. You wake up, stretch, you're feeling less fatigued or tired. still uncomfortable from the not good bed you had, and take a look at your surroundings. The fire has long since gone out, and the cart you took from the bat beast is still just kind of sitting there.
I see. Alright. Well, I guess I'll take the cart. Well, actually, no. First, let's see what's inside the handmade chest. It looks like heroin should be in it.
You didn't go.
Let's crack
At
that
that
open.
point, you didn't go through any else of the stuff.
Yeah, no, like that probably should have been one of the first things I did, and yet I just saw valuables and yoink.
So
let's do
ignoring
that.
everything else in the cart for some reason, you immediately grab the most valuable looking thing, which appears to be chest. You crack it open with using your claws. You basically just crush the lock and open it. Inside are what appear the first thing that catches your eye is a glimmering white necklace. You pick it up. It looks like it would fit a woman because of its small size and delicate design. Take a closer look at it with your eyes, and as someone who has killed a lot of high-ranking people, you immediately can tell that the craftsmanship on this is very intricate, and it's definitely, for someone high-ranking, you wouldn't, or at the very least, it's expensive. It looks a very nice, almost like a pearl necklace, but made out of opals instead of pearls. You put it away, put it on the side for now, and continue to open it. Inside is a picture of what appears to be two humanoid-looking creatures. They look like one looks much older than the other. You assume them to be probably father and son, but you're not quite sure. They have ears that look like elf ears that you would recognize. However, unlike the elves that you've seen in books, these ears look a little more stunted. And they seem to be wearing fair clothes, but nothing outlandishly noble or impressive about them. They appear to be medieval, and the photo itself is taken on weird parchment. You examine the photo closer and notice that it's not film or any sort of material you're used to. So, however this photo was taken, it wasn't taken by any means that you know in the world you came from. Likely you assume it might have been magic, but you're not sure. Regardless, the photo of the people gives you an idea of the time period you're in regarding clothing and technology. Seeing as the cart, even by cart standards, is rather old. The wheels aren't that well fastened in, tying of the twine and the ropes aren't that well made. You put the photo to the side and find the last thing in the box, which appears to be a couple of feathers. They're very brightly colored. You don't really know what they are. They look pretty, but besides that, you assume that they're probably just a trinket of someone. You put all the objects back in the box, close the box, and put it away. Nothing of particular value, but you think that you should probably hold on to it.
Alright, so I'll keep this for... It's a surprise tool to help us later. Yeah, it will. Knowing you. You'll be like, man, you can give that necklace you found all the way in like the start of the forest to this high-class noble later on. So... okay, so... I actually like take a second to analyze what else is in the cart to, read aside from the chest.
You go through you first examine the vials. There's much multicolored liquids. Considering this is supposed to be a fantasy world, you can only imagine that they're potions. You don't desire at all to drink them, but maybe you can get them appraised once you find another person. Besides that, there's a couple of sacks of goods. You open one, and to your delight, you find some dried fish. And in the other ones, you find a bag of nuts, and the other one what appear to be dried vegetables. They look like potatoes from your old world, but they're slightly different in color. Regardless, you pick one up and basically break it open and look at the inside, and you recognize that whatever this is, it's a potato. Okay, it's like you don't know what kind of vegetable it is, but it appears to be a potato. And the last sack,
family, gotcha.
the last sack you open up and are a bunch of silver coins.
Ooh, okay.
You look at the silver coins, and each one of them has an etching. Each one of them has the same etching on it. It's the face of what appears to be a very powerful looking figure Reminds you of the olden days in your world where kings would put their faces on things to show power and status.
Okay, alright. So, looking at the face, probably some sort of powerful entity from nearby. Which, if there's a card in this forest, then I'm probably going in the right direction. Hopefully. So, with that assumption undermined, I take what I can with the cart. Probably not going to be able to fly with the cart easy, I'd imagine. So
You can
I
hover at best.
Yeah, okay, so I try to see if I can actually repair the cart to move it on ground.
Mm-hmm. Look at the cart, and although you never really studied architecture or construction, it's such a simple design. Simply a wooden box with 2 wheels on the back, tied together with string, and a pulley and a pulley wrench on top. The main damage was to the part of the cart that you used to pull it, but the wheels seem mostly intact, and you see that they move fine enough. So after a little less than an hour, you manage to finesse together a handle for the cart. It's working.
Okay.
It's clearly not the most stable, but it should last for a good amount of time.
Well, I'm slowly becoming a better craftsman compared to my earlier work. Looks on in horror. We don't talk about the bull, Connor.
That's gonna be the new meme in Althvinhaim. We don't talk about
Yeah.
the bull.
We don't talk about the bull, quotation marks, bottom text. Alright, okay, so having fixed the cart, I decide, alright, let's push it onwards. Mm-hmm. So let's keep going in the same direction I've been going all
You
this
grab
time.
the cart and begin to continue the journey you were heading in. You're slower, obviously, because you're not flying, but carrying these goods with you is useful, and having a cart to hold things in general seems nice. You continue to travel across the forest with the occasional birds chirping in the sky, seeing insects crawl around, fish jumping through the river. You continue.
I'm jumping at these small animals and shit because I'm paranoid from being attacked 5 different times.
You continue to travel through the forest, and slowly but surely you feel like the foliage is getting thinner and thinner. That slowly the amount of trees getting less and less. You're hopeful that this maybe means that you're slowly finding a way out of the forest. As you walk along with your cart, still following the river just because you can, you're going opposite of it, where it's you're going opposite of downstream, hoping that maybe you'll find an outcropping or a lake or whatever. Eventually, though, you hear the sound of wood chopping, the sound of men chopping trees, the sound of axes hitting wood. You think back to your previous experiences and think that, at the very least, this sounds like multiple people working. It doesn't sound like anything you've done where it's yelling or coercing or voices. It's just chopping. You either choose to approach, leave the cart and attempt to fly from above, or something else.
I'd leave the cart and attempt to fly from above and get a vantage point. Again.
You fly up into the sky and look down, and you see incredibly large humanoids chopping down trees. It's hard to tell their height from this distance, but if you had to estimate, you'd guess they were anywhere from 7 to 12 feet tall. They look to be intelligent. You see one of these men overseeing the rest, giving out orders, telling people to chop down this. Some of them are carrying wood back and putting it in a large, more sophisticated cart, and are bringing it somewhere else. Whatever this is, it's clear that these are actually intelligent people.
Okay, so can I just choose to spectate and see where they're going?
By following where they're bringing the wood?
Yeah, and then I circle back with the cart as just to mentally map out where I need to go.
Mm-hmm. You fly above them high enough to where they're not really caring to look for you, and watch their progress. You see that they're bringing the cart over beyond some hills, probably to their village or whatever. Maybe they're building more buildings. Regardless, the forest ends here. If you follow the river, the forest will end.
Okay, thank God. Alright, so, seeing with that in mind, I fly back to where my cart was and I try to, like, discreetly trail behind them, if at all possible.
You attempt to grab the cart and... Wait, you say you landed?
Yeah, I landed at the cart.
Landed
yeah.
and grabbed the cart and continue to move into the river. You attempt to stealthily approach these giants. However, the lack of trees doesn't do you any favors. Eventually, one of them notices you and calls out to you. Hey, what are you doing here?
So can I just like beckon him to come over just real quick? Just
You
like
can say whatever you want.
Okay, alright. So just like looking him at the eye, I'm just gonna say, "Oh, hello, good sir. I'm a humble traveler with my precious valuables, and I've been stuck in that forest for quite some time. I need a place to go." So,
Humble traveler? Young sir, I've seen many travelers. None of them are dragons. Lest the dragon born. Well, regardless for your reasons, I don't particularly care. Just know that we're busy clearing out this part of the forest and harvesting the wood, so try not to get in our way. If you're looking for a place to stay, I recommend our village. If you want a place to stay, you can go to our village just over those mountains over there. Well, hills over there. There are places to stay if you got money. Well, money talks. There we have an inn. You can buy yourself something to drink. Don't really care. Just don't get in the way of our work. Thank you.
alright, I'm just
With
like,
that, the giant goes back to chopping down trees.
okay, with that in mind, I take the cart and just like I head in the direction they said, just to the village.
You travel with
Rubbing with hands.
travel with the cart. The orcs are looking at the giants are looking at you, just cautiously. Clearly, they don't see dragons often, especially not dragonborns often. You travel, however, they don't seem to be any animosity towards you, just curiosity. You travel over the hill, and Well, notice how Jamal immediately got online. That means he didn't actually turn off his computer. He just left to go watch YouTube. Classic Jamal.
No,
And so it begins.
I went back because I was bored because I'm muted, and I don't know. After a while, it's just half my entertainment is me being stupid, and I can't be stupid if I'm muted. I'm kidding. I mean, part of it is like I got it, and like it's like I don't know. It's like watching turn-by-turn combat, but like not playing, right? So it's like, it's cool, it seems fun, but it's like, it's like,
Yeah, but you really told Dredd you would, so maybe instead of watching YouTube shorts, you know. Now I know, Joel. I know you like your favorite thing to do is to not uphold promises, as evidenced by all the governments. Well, he doesn't.
well, I mean, I did kind of join them. I mean, I don't know.
You joined for 30 minutes.
That's like a long time.
We've been running for 2.5 hours.
Well.
What part of the forest are you in?
He's out of the forest.
Is he in the Human Alliance?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, no, I'm being told the ghost in place, so I'm going.
Yeah. Anyways,
Someone told you to go in the Human Alliance? That's kind of crazy.
we're forcing you to stay because you said promise Dredd you would. Unless of course you want to break your promise again, which I mean wouldn't be new to you.
Okay, I don't need to be insulted. I'm already here.
Anyways, yeah. So you walk across the plains, finally happy to get out of that godforsaken wood. Just the simple fact that you're not in there anymore makes you feel more refreshed. You begin to walk across. As you climb over the hill, you see the village. It's a very rudimentary village. However, the houses are much larger than you're used to, likely because of the size of the inhabitants. You walk across, and You walk across the plains and finally reach the entrance of the village. Some of the giants look at you, but most of them pay you no mind. And from across the street, you see a sign that says "Inn."
Okay. All right. So taking my lovely cart, I roll up to the inn, just like I take the bag of coins and I like go up there and inside just to see what's up.
You enter. You enter the tavern.
Wanna know
Finally,
about-
just happy to not be in the fucking woods anymore. Right. Right, and so you notice that everyone here most of them are giants. However, you do notice some other people, but appear to be humans, elves, even some dwarves. The innkeeper is a very large man, and he's busy sorting out some bottles in the back. What do you do?
Okay. So what I do is I walk up to the innkeeper's in the back. Did you say?
Yes.
All right. Can I just like walk up to the counter and be like, "Hello there, innkeeper"?
Yes. So you walk up to the counter, and there's a bell. You ring the bell, and the innkeeper comes out. What you need, kid?
Yes. Is there a possibility I could have a room for a night?
5 silvers for 3 nights.
All right. Can I just like open the pouch and see how many silvers are in there, real quick?
You open the pouch and count around 35.
All right. So I yoink 5 silvers and I hand it to the giant man.
Room's on the right. Go up the stairs. Third door from the left. It's gonna be a bit big because these are built for giants, but you should manage. Also,
Oh, that's fine.
word of advice, kid. This is one of the few villages on the outskirts of the Humanoid Alliance. If I were you, I'd avoid that place at all costs.
The Humanoid Alliance? What is that?
The only
How would I-
real nation on this. You're not from these parts?
No, I'm a wandering traveler from ways out.
Althvinhaim?
Yes, let's go with that.
Interesting. How? What did you do? Take a boat here and arrive at the South Island or something? I won't pry. Regardless, the Humanoid Alliance is one of the few nations on this world besides the Dragon Covenant. They used to be quite a fun nation. In fact, this town used to be a part of them. However, in recent decades, it's become much of a hellhole to many. The recent dictator has been making life a living hell, forcing people to serve him or else die. People killed off to support the growing population, forced to be workers, and above all else, they have a special hatred for dragons. You see, the Dragon Covenant, which lives on the north part of this continent, has a particular rivalry with the current dictator. Because of that, he doesn't take kindly to dragons. I wouldn't say you'd last a day in the Humanoid Alliance. This is one of the few towns that managed to break free before the dictator really solidified his rule. If I were you, I'd go around the coast on the east side of the Humanoid Island, take a boat over to the Monster Plains, and get the hell out of here.
I was just like looking at him, mostly neutral throughout the whole conversation until he got to the part of like the dictator and him hating dragons at this point. Well, that does sound very unfortunate. I will make sure to heed your advice, good sir. Thank you for the warning.
That bastard's got secret police everywhere in his country. Our mayor has to pay a hefty tributary every single year just to keep that fuck's men off our eyes. This town's barely scraping by. It's hard to make money nowadays, but we manage. Travelers from afar like to come here, because the great monster forest to the south offers a lot of plentiful resources, especially in terms of monster goods. So we've been funding adventurers to hunt these down. You seem a bit worse for wear. I take it you had your fair share of the great monster forest?
Yeah, quite a little bit. It was very long travel, you can say.
Any man-tars or sweet talkers get ya?
Well, what would you consider a mantar?
Don't know what a mantar is. Huh. Big beasts, animalistic bodies, upper humans carry spears, got horns. Despite their appearance, though, they lack intelligence of really any kind.
Ah. Well, in that case, yes, I might have gotten one on the way.
Yeah.
Yes, well, would you
man.
say that the humanoid alliance, yes, with this dictator, does he have powerful enemies in high
Enemies?
places?
Sure, the Air Dragon Lord Galia. However, Galius doesn't seem all too cared. Galiel, yeah, he doesn't really seem to care. Galiel is the Air Dragon Lord, and he's the ruler of the Dragon Covenant. The dragons, as well as most Paxilists, generally disagree with the rule. However, they seem to have better things to do than worry about sympathetic humans. Believe me, the Air Dragon Lord and the Dragon Covenant are much stronger than the Humanoid Alliance. But because of their natural superiority over them, they see no reason to interfere. Well, so the people there are unfortunately just kind of doomed to suffer. Unless something changes about that, I fear that eventually even this village will get swallowed up.
I close my eyes and I think upon it for a second, you know. How many times have I killed someone who has, you know, overall been very much like, you know, how should I describe it? Just terroristic.
Hey kid, you falling asleep?
And I open my eyes. Oh no, I'm just fine. It's been a long day. I will head over to the room, and I wish you a good day, good sir.
Well, get a good sleep. You're welcome to stay here as long as you want. Although, remember, 3 nights. If you want to extend it, just come to me and we can make that happen. Until then, have a good night. Oh, also, breakfast in the morning. Just as the sun comes up, we offer it for free. If you're interested.
I believe I will take you up on that offer. So, farewell.
Alright. Have a good sleep.
I say, and then immediately just like head over to the room over on the right.
You walk up the stairs.
And so, oh yeah, go ahead.
You walk up the stairs and to the room on the left, open it, and enter the room.
Alright, so stepping inside, you know, closing the door behind me, I like briefly contemplate the situation of the Humanoid Alliance.
You can take a brief look around your room. The ceiling is, like you said, very high, maybe 12, 13 feet tall. The bed, absolutely massive. Even king-sized beds that you are used to in your world pale in comparison to the sheer size of this thing.
Jeez.
You notice that, sheer size of this thing. There's a table and a chair in the back with a desk, nightstand, some lamps, a couch, and in the back with a door what appears to be a bathroom. Overall, considering your previous predicaments, a pretty good place to be.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's acceptable. So, you know, having looked around this place, I would have just like fly up to the bed at this point because it's pretty.
With the exhaustion finally catching up to you, you just collapse into the absolutely ginormous bed that you could probably fit 10 of yourself in and fall asleep. The music outside dims as the lights turn off and everyone in the village goes to sleep. You wake up, and for the first time in forever, you actually feel refreshed. The bed, although not the greatest thing you've ever slept in, is much better than the hard, cold ground of a forest.
It's like heaven in comparison to earlier.
Yeah, the softness of it really helps you, and for once, you wake up fully refreshed. Not fatigued, not injured, not groggy, just a bit sleepy. You hear the sound of commotion outside as the guests begin to wake up, and the inn bustles to life once again.
All right. Well, seeing outside, I look at the ambience and all the people having a good time out there. Then I would remember. Oh wow, yes, it's probably around that time of hour where they give out breakfast for free at the inn. So I should probably go and see what's up with that.
Yeah. You go ahead and talk to the innkeeper about breakfast. And he says, of course, kid. Just sit on down and I'll bring some to you. I'll have the chef bring some to you.
Very well, I say, taking my seat.
Yeah. You sit down and wait for a bit as you acknowledge the surroundings around you. There are all manners of races interacting. Happy and sad, laughing, drunk, some squabbles going on. But overall, it's a peaceful sight. And in your previous life, that was something you weren't used to. It almost feels weird, being able to sit down at a table, not worrying about if there's going to be some evil organization or altered person trying to kill you, trying to fight against you for their life, trying to run from you, trying to kill them. Seeing happy faces around you, you're taken aback a bit to before you were recruited into the government organization. To a time before, when it was just you and your friends in school, not a care in the world. You had your mental problems, you had your fair deal of trauma, but there were always people by your side who were friends with you. You would go out, laugh, eat, get drunk. It reminded you a lot of this. And although you don't know where they are, or haven't interacted with them in a while, you're still grateful for the time you spent with them. As you sit there and wait, the man, the chef, who appears to be an elf, brings out your food. He puts the plate in front of you and says, "Here you go, fresh off the stove. Enjoy it while it's hot." Next to you, first thing you notice is a bowl filled with berries. You look inside and you see what appears to be blackberries, similar to your world, but different, as well as an assortment of a few other berries you can't quite put your hand on. And then next is a small, what appears to be a steak. It's small, not probably smaller than a New York strip. Probably from a smaller animal. Alongside them is two sunny side up eggs, and a handful of roasted nuts in the other bowl. And finally with that is a tall glass of milk. Before the waiter leaves, he asks if you need any refills or a different drink, just to let him know, and he would come and bring it. The whole thing is garnished with a few roses, and a couple other berries and nuts on the side.
All right, so in response to the waiter's question, I just say, if you have any tea, that would be very much preferable, please.
Tea, huh? Interesting, most people don't care for that stuff. Well, I think we have some in the back. I can fetch it for you for sure. You want me to take the milk as well, or do you still want it?
Yes, please. Here you go.
Okay.
I give it over to him.
He takes the milk and comes back. As you begin to eat your food, he comes back out with a tall glass of tea. He said, "The only kinds of sorry, I'm not sure. Innkeeper told me you're a traveler from Althvinhaim. Unfortunately, we don't have any of their tea leaves, only some from here. So it might taste a little different, but that's all we got. Sorry."
Oh, that's fine. I'm sure it'll hopefully be up to my standards.
You take a sip, and it's definitely tea. It's not like any tea you've tasted before, but it still gets the same herbaceous, calming, warm feeling that you're so used to whenever drinking tea. You sit there and enjoy the first actually good meal you've had. Freshly cooked, medium rare short steak, nicely seasoned side up eggs, a bowl of fresh fruit, toasted nuts, which you actually do recognize some of the nuts as the ones you ate earlier, and you immediately agree that they are much better roasted. And lastly, and your tea.
I see. All right, nice. So, I'll gulf that. Actually, hold on, real quick. While I'm canonically eating the meal, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. So yeah, just canonically, I just pretend I'm like really savoring every morsel.
Yeah.
All right, so be right back.
Yeah. Meanwhile, shit on Jamal.
I don't deserve this.
Yes, you do.
I'm just such a
God,
good
see, like the
person.
beginning
Why is-
the beginning's a bit interesting because like there isn't much, but like if this is fun, I'm hoping that everyone's gonna find this fun now because the start is going to be the most boring.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I think it's like a good place though,
yeah,
because like there's less stakes.
exactly. And but as things get on, as you learn magic, acquire more skills, and start fighting, it's gonna get fun. And I'm glad that Dred's enjoying it, even though we just started, because that means that like the most boring part is still fun.
Oh, obviously.
And so if the start is fun, then once we really get into it, oh boy, it's gonna be really fun.
I can't wait to free a nation.
If you rate
before
your
Jamal.
experience so far 1 out of 10, Dred, what would you give it?
Dragon Lord, very unfriendly. Unsubscribed from his Yelp.
Unsubscribe to Zierman's YouTube channel.
Yeah, unsubscribed from his YouTube channel. I unfollowed him on Twitch, by the way. Obviously after that incident, then I landed in the Great Dragon Forest. Terrible hospitality.
Great
-5
Monster
out of
Forest.
10. Great monster. I'm eating right now. I don't have brain cells.
Both in and out of lore.
Yeah, it's very good. Man, I love these shiny side of eggs, Colin.
Yeah?
Very delicious.
So what would you rate the experience so far, Dred?
Of the inn, 9 out of 10. Of the Great Monster Forest, -5 out of 10. Of Zierman, 0 out of 10. Overall,
Wait,
8.5 out of 10.
Jed, on your next journey, you have a terrible choice. Do you go to the urban centers where the government is most stationed with like the watchful and all like the actual fascists to like get maps so you don't have to be in the rural area too long, or just brave the SCPs? This is which one?
Brave the SCB. No, because
I
it's
can't,
like, because Dred has a choice. Because keep in mind that I made the when every single interaction Dred has, I try to make an interesting choice, right? And obviously some are going to be lesser than others. But I'll say this now: I made the innkeeper. The reason why I had the innkeeper disclose so much information is because he's a big choice moment. Dred can either choose to brave the humanoid alliance and attempt to take down lies, or he can just go away. He can take a boat off the port, and just sail away. He could sail to the monster plains, sail to Althvinhaim, and or even sail to the Dragon Covenant. Like, it's his choice to make, and so. Now it's a matter.
I mean, but would Dred do this option? Would Dred run away? I feel like
well,
he's
it's more like would Athenos run away, but
well, no, Athenos
what do you-
at this point, it's a tough choice for Athenos to make at this point because right now he's just finished getting force lightning in the chest by Emperor Zermantine, and. And then next, right after that, he had to. Alright, guys. So I'm in Bear Grylls in the wild. Gonna be surviving.
he was literally Bear Grylls, so true.
And so he had to do that. Fight monsters, just like with assassin discipline, just like slowly like getting grinded away with each encounter, because he was just like at that point being like so fucking done with it. Like you wouldn't believe, just being hounded and just like having to trek through miles on miles. Although it was made easier by flying, let me say that. So he had to do all that, and then right after that, he came up to this point where he like meets these like introverted but otherwise kind people, especially the innkeeper, right? Who was like telling him, man, look at I wouldn't recommend going any further than this kid, because the Humanoid Alliance, man, they're fucking fascists, bro. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So
They're gonna kill you.
Athenos at this point, he's like stuck in a weird place between, do I want to keep fighting, or do I want to just get out and experience some of this peace that, see if I can, really, but...
Already
I think
Athenos has more depth than everything Jamal had planned for Kylian.
Okay, look, I stopped playing. No, but
He's genuinely being reminiscent, which is like, man, I have a. This is gonna be life changing. Like, do I want to delve?
Yeah, that's the
deeper
thing. I'm
into
trying to make
warfare?
that apparent, where because the Athenos' whole thing, Dread's whole thing is he's like this big assassin. That comes with a lot of mental toll, because you're constantly watching your back. This is a world where no one knows who he is. His job never happened. He's a new person, and people treat him
Yeah,
like
he
so.
can be peaceful. He doesn't have to care for anything.
Didn't you
They
also
may give
activate
him-
Bloodlust and like brutally torture the Sweet Talker to death?
Well, let me. Okay, let me put it like this, Connor. Let's say
Yeah,
you're
Alphys,
traveling
he
through a forest.
tore the Sweet Talker's lower jaw off, dislocated both their arms, then ripped them off, tore off all their limbs, and then slowly wounded their body until they died of blood loss.
What that ass fucking fatality is that? What the?
Well, let's just
Hey.
say being assassins aren't very mentally healthy.
somehow that resulted in all the gifs and lore discussion, though. So you
Yeah.
know.
Naturally.
Well, yeah, no, but back
uh,
to the point, right? He's at this point he's just like I could pussy out. For once I don't have to complete the mission. That's his mindset, and that's a genuine possibility. Or, he could also be like, I heard of this dictator who people like him I've trained to like take down and like end before they rose up, but this guy rose up, and so that's a problem. And so it's like, do I want to deal with this guy because I can, because I stealth, or do I want to just live peacefully?
Yeah. Well, Dread, did you fight anything before the fly trap? I forget.
Hold on, let me scroll through memories. This is why I did.
I don't think you did.
The Trent, remember the Trevor?
Oh yeah,
The
fight.
tree?
Fights, Trevants, fights. I believe we called it. What did we call that beast?
Venus flytrap?
No, it's not. No. I call it that because you don't know what it's actually called. It's not actually what it's called.
Well, yeah, it's somewhere. It was a tree monster.
Dragon
obviously.
Maw. That's what it was. Not the tree.
Oh, Venus flytrap. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Fights Dragon Maw. Fights.
Lies waking up to report of some dragonoid blowing stuff up in his country.
I can't with any of you. I can't.
The ratatouille
can't.
tastes too well.
I can't with why? Why are you like this? Why are
That
you
was
like
actually
this?
so good. Holy shit. Ray Jamal funny.
But yeah, anyways, that's what I was thinking about it from an Athnos perspective. From a Dread perspective, I'm thinking from a Dread perspective, I'm trying to think, do I want to liberate a country before Jamal? Or do I want to
Do it.
Okay, well, technically you wouldn't necessarily, because it's not like Jamal is gonna start the day you get in. He's also starting on Castier the 9th. It's just gonna be.
Yeah, no. The problem is though, like, is he really gonna liberate a country? Who's he gonna revolutionize?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
He's gonna pull Luffy.
right here.
He's gonna put a Luffy from One Piece.
Really?
Please
Alright.
tell me I'll get that.
Shall we
Please.
continue?
I mean, there's also gonna be like, from what I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like maybe there's gonna be like events that like we aren't touching but are happening
Oh yeah.
by themselves.
Yeah.
Shit's gonna happen on their
Absolutely.
own.
So like I
Sword
think
and Art
we're
one.
like we're acting, but we're also responding. So
Yeah,
like
no, they're
I'm not gonna be the only one.
absolutely. There are gonna be stuff that you have to
No, that's
respond to as
happening.
well. The main one that's gonna come up right now that I have planned is the Sunstar Festival, which is gonna be in a month. So that's
Alright,
gonna be
okay.
exciting. Shall we continue?
Yes, we will.
Okay. You finish your meal, and it was really good. The eggs were nicely seasoned, and the steak was well cooked. The berries were freshly made, nicely glazed. Although it obviously couldn't compare to the 5-star restaurants you've eaten at in the past. Compared to the raw meat and raw nuts you had to eat in the forest, it was amazing.
From 5-star to 1-star to 2.5 stars. Acceptable.
After finishing eating, you call the waiter over, and he takes your food away. Now what?
All right, so you know what? Athenos is in a bit of a pickle mentally. It's like, do I help these people or do I help myself? And he's having to come to terms with that choice, this mental battle between two different angles. So he's gonna go into town. He's gonna stroll around, see the sights. See, hey, what's up with this place? Let me learn more about it.
So he thanks the tavern for the tavern keep for the food. The tavern keep says thanks, and he leaves the tavern. He has two options. You can go left down the street, back towards where the entrance of the town, or you can go right, deeper into the town.
Let's go right, deeper in.
Okay. He goes right, you go right, and begin to enter the town. You walk across the cobblestone street. It's a bit bumpy, but otherwise well laid out. As you walk, many giants tower towards you as they walk by. They seem friendly, but most tend to just ignore you. You see a few non-giants walk by, and all of them seem to be having armor, staffs, weapons, clearly adventurers, likely here to profit off the Great Monster Forest. You continue to walk down the streets and come at a crossroads. You can go left, straight, or right.
Let's go left this time.
Okay. You go left and head towards what appears to be barracks. There's a large field of what appears to be dirt, gravel, and sand. You approach and notice a large building at the end. It's a big sign that says Warriors Guild. It's directly adjacent to the what appears to be a training field. Well, you look at the field and there are clearly some giant warriors. I mean warriors that are giants. That are wearing some light plate chainmail and are practicing with dummy wooden swords against dummies. You can either enter the Warriors Guild, look around a bit more, or go back to the cross section.
So just staring at the Warriors Guild and getting some vivid flashbacks back to when he was getting trained. Athenos just turns around, jerks around suddenly, and just goes back.
Okay, you arrive at the crossroads again, and this time you can either go up, forward, or right.
Let's go right.
You go right and head around towards. This is where most of the people are coming from, and you can tell immediately by the bustling. Well, actually, I should change the ambience. Oh, I like this one a lot. I'm just gonna have to save all these to use again eventually.
Yeah, no, don't worry. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, it adds a lot of atmosphere. I generally do think it adds a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, you enter what appears to be a very bustling marketplace. There are countless stalls, countless races, trading things all over. You hear people. Fresh fruit from Althvinhaim. Get your fresh fruit. Anyone want some magic? Fresh magic wands here. We have dried meats from Althvinhaim, newly imported. Get them before they stock out. Amongst the chaos, you hear a bunch of different people. Hecklers, shoppers, beggars. It's really sight to behold. It's not fanciful. It's not neat. It's not clean. However, this sight to you of people happily moving about, shopping, simple lives in this medieval era, it seems to take you aback for some reason. You can't quite place the reason on why, but this sight to you just feels relaxing as you begin to enter the marketplace.
Slowly, his shoulders tense, less. They relax. He's just calm now. The paranoia that he's been building this whole time, without him knowing, is just going away slowly. It's just as he calms as he's walking through.
You notice the shops. There are shops of all manners, weapons, but the ones that really catch your eye are the weapons, armor, and magic.
Well, I
choose
think
to approach one or continue to go down the marketplace.
I think the magic will catch his eye.
Red goes down and sees an old gentleman, wizard, appears. Large hat, robes, the whole deal. You approach him, and he says, "How can I help you, young sir?"
Well, I couldn't help but notice you've got some magical accessories here. Could you care to tell me more about that?
Ah, yes. A keen eye, surely. I have the best wares here anywhere in this village for magical users. May I ask, what elements do you use?
My mind's just like fucking blanking at this point as I just like come up with
Okay, so you do
excuse.
know what elements you use, you just don't know how to use magic. Because remember, you did pick your element.
Okay, alright. In that case, okay, that saves me a lot of effort.
Because you remember, you did pick them, so.
Okay, cool. Lightning and dark.
Ooh, dual magic user, very impressive. Although I suppose that should be considered of a dragon. Nice elements too. You have strong, fast, unpredictable lightning, dark and mischievous dark magic. Well, I do have some accessories for you. Let me see here. Real quick, what level of magic can you use? Basic, greater, super maybe?
No, this is the part where just like my stomach drops as I have like no clue what he's talking about. Well, you see, I haven't had the chance to really delve into it. I've only been able to tell what my elements are thus far.
Huh.
So,
Odd, but okay. Regardless, I think I have just the thing for you. There. The old man smiles and reaches in the back underneath his cart and pulls out a book. It's a small book, but he clearly has trouble holding it thanks to his frail arms. See, I myself can use fire and water, you see. And I've delved a lot into studying the marks of magic. I think I know most spells pretty well. This here, sir, since you aren't quite sure on what you can do, is a basic book on lightning magic. Unfortunately, I don't have any dark magic books because dark and light are harder to acquire. If you really want a dark magic book, an advanced dark magic book, I would recommend visiting the moon elves of the Evernight in Althvinhaim. But this right here should get you started. This has all the lesser and basic lightning spells written in here. And I'll give it to you for just 15 silver. How's that sound?
I look at him just like and just nod in polite understanding as I give him 15 silver.
Great doing deals with the kid. And just so you know, each one of this book contains all the spells from lesser and basic lightning. This will help you get started until you can and eventually you can move on to greater magic. But for now, just so you know, because since you seem like not in a rude way, but you seem rather magically inept. But I'm always glad to see someone who's willing to learn. And that's you, right?
Yes, I am quite willing to invest myself into that property.
The Mage slaps his knee. Well, that's great, kid. I'm always nice to see a new magic user. And you're a dragon, too. You'll live much longer than my old human bones. Hopefully you'll grow up to be a great wizard one day. Regardless, simply how magic works is, everyone has a mana pool. You can increase it slowly by trading it, but since you're a dragon, your mana pool should be fairly high. And until you start getting into greater magic, mana training, you really won't need it. But basically, how magic works, if you can go, you'll see in this book, each spell has their name, as well as a description. How to cast magic is you have to visualize the spell in your head. Visualize what the spell is supposed to do, and then chant the name, and you'll cast the spell. It's as simple as that, really. Just remember that you need to remember spells, or else you'll forget, or else either... It's okay to rely on the book for now, but you will want to learn to memorize spells and cast them on instinct. That's the real best mages are able to not think about what magic they're using, but just cast it out instantly. I once faced a mage like that personally, and I lost back in my younger days. Now, though, I'm too young to really engage in mage-on-mage combat. But you look like
Too young? No, go on. I just, like, you said too young instead of too old.
Yeah. Anyways, here's the book. Thanks for doing deals with you. And hey, if you ever need to come back, maybe get some accessories to increase that electric magic power, or maybe temporarily increase your mana pool, or if you ever come back with a lot more riches, I can even sell you a catalyst. How's that sound? Regardless, I'll see you on your way, kid. Have fun with that.
Alright, yes. Farewell, good sir. I will be on my way. Good luck with your selling wares.
Thank you. You too. And so he and with that, you walk away from the stall. The man looks very pleased being able to make a sale today, and continues to call other people to buy things from his wares.
I walk away from the quirky man.
As you walk along the city streets, you begin to open the book. It starts with an introduction. It reads, "This is the basics of lightning magic, 101. And here includes the lesser and basic lightning spells that you will need to do to kick off your magical mage career." You think to yourself, it's almost like that man wrote this book. Regardless, you open it up to the lesser spells. It says, "Lesser spells are the weakest spells. Consider training or life spells as their main practical application is in everyday life." You see a code of index, and 5 spells are listed: Zap, Zip, Zop, Static Boost, and Spark. You can either choose to check out one of these spells, or you can look at the basic spells instead.
Big Zap, Zip, Zop, and Spark.
Zap, Zip, Zop, Static Boost, and Sparked.
Okay. Alright, okay, so I think I will, while I'm walking, I'll consider checking out one of these spells.
You can either pick from a lesser spell, which is described as a quality of life spell that isn't really used in combat, or the basic spells, which is the standard tier of combat magic and boosting magic that all mages know how to use.
Alright, so I guess I'll try a training spell once I'm out of the marketplace. So just I'm reading through it as until I get out.
As you walk through the marketplace, you scroll through a couple of the spells. You see the spells, you look through some of them, you look through the basic spells, and they're all rather simple. There's Zap, which sparks a zap from your fingertip that creates a shock. There's Zip, which does a longer zap, but it's smaller in size, similar to Zap. And then there's Zop, which shoots multiple tiny sparks from their fingertips. You assume these are mainly used for pranks, or mainly as pranks to shock people, because you can't really imagine much practical use outside of that. One thing that's interesting to you, though, is Static Boost. It costs 10 mana, and slowly increases how fast the user can charge things with static electricity. It seems a bit niche, but you can imagine a use for it. And finally, the last lesser spell was Sparked, which creates a small sustainable spark in the user's palm that can be used to shock things it touches. Whilst it seems odd, you imagine how you might be able to... You think about it, and you think you might be able to use this spell to temporarily interrupt an enemy by zapping them on the side. Regardless, as you finish reading the lesser spells, you reach the end of the marketplace and walk out on the other side. And you figure right now you're about on the other side of town.
Okay, alright, so I'm on the other side of town, alright. Okay, I look around my surroundings, looking up from the book to see, hey, where am I exactly?
So you look back, the marketplace was generally one long run. If you think about it, if you entered the village from the gate, on the right was the tavern. If you continued heading forward from the entrance, you'd reach that crossroad, and you headed right, straight down the marketplace. So in your mental map, you imagine you're roughly on the other side of town. You imagine that there might be another way to get around, but the quickest way back to the inn and your room would likely be walking back through the marketplace.
Okay, alright. Alright, well, that having been said, let's go back to the Tavern Inn. Let's go back there.
So you cross back into the marketplace, once again appreciating the naturalness of the marketplace, and you reach the crossroads, head back to the tavern, and enter it. You enter the tavern. Well, it's still bustling. It appears to be about noon as the sun starts peeking over the zenith, and you enter your room.
Okay, alright, so I'm inside my room. I've got the book in hand. Right, now I whip out... I look at one of the spells, let's see. Let's try to do very, very basics of the basics. Let's do Zap. Let's try to work out that.
You recall what the wizard says. All you need to do is visualize the spell via the description and cast the spell name. You once again read the description of Zap. The user sparks a zap from their fingertip that creates a light shock.
All right, so visualizing the spell in my mind, I go and say, Zap. Just hand out.
You imagine the thought of lightning coming out of your fingertips, almost like when you touch those electro balls you used to have in your original world, where you put your hand on it and the lightning would follow your fingers.
More recent memory also being like the lightning dragon lord, but
you say zap, and you open your eyes, and a small bolt of lightning comes out of your fingertip, no more than a few inches long.
All right. That's a pretty neat spell to use. All right. Let's see. You know, this Zop spell. Let's give that a try.
You once again read the description of Zop. The user shoots 3 to 5 tiny sparks from their fingertips that each barely shock.
Okay. All right. So holding my hands out in front of me. This time, like I placed down the book for this, I visualize it and I go, stop.
You visualize the thought of what you did with Zap, but imagining all those bolts coming out of all your fingertips at once. You say Zap, and 5 small bolts of lightning, small little sparks of lightning come out of all your fingertips.
Alright. Well, that's enough mana using for now, just to know that I can use these spells just at random if necessary.
You spent 10 mana out of your 750 mana pool.
I'm very tired, as you can see. Not at all, but you know what? That's enough magic. It's just a test run to see. Hey, what can I do?
Yeah.
I'll do the rest of them. Fuck it. You know, let's be.
No, I was gonna say you realize you start to grasp the understanding of magic, and you wonder if you should look into the basic spells now that you understand how this whole thing works.
All right. Well, let's see the basic spells, and then like pull up the book.
You open the chapter to basic spells. It says the most common and abundant spells. They cover a variety of different uses, and you cannot go wrong with them. This part of the book is really long. You're almost surprised. There are 15 whole basic spells for lightning to use. Your mind almost like can't figure out which one to use. You decide just to go off of the name. Kaminari, Bolt Strike, Shock, Frenzy Bolt, Lightning Ball, Lesser Bombardment, Lesser Thunder, Charged Aura, Electrify, Thunder Wave, Electric Movement, Electric Arrow, Zap Rider, Electro Boost, Thunderous Spear. You have a hard time even remembering all of them just by reading the name.
By looking at the document, seeing as you just like barely wrote all of them down, which you haven't. But okay. So, you know, let's try the most interesting spell Athenos thinks. He looks at the Thunder Wave, and he visualizes... He like reads the spell description, and like...
The spell description says, Thunder Wave, mana cost 45, range 3 meters, cooldown 15 seconds. The user releases a wave of thunderous power from themselves.
Okay. Alright, so this is probably just going to be the last test because he does not want to destroy the in-room he's in, obviously. So he just like, he goes to the center of the room just to make sure, and then he like starts visualizing the thunder wave coming out from him, just like...
Yeah, he imagines a wave coming out of him, almost like a shock wave, almost like a shock wave. And he says, Thunder Wave, and from just below his waist, a large wave of thunder shoots out. It doesn't directly damage anything. However, small objects around him, including one of the vials he had from this cart get knocked over. Doesn't break, but it gets knocked over. He realizes that
He rushes over.
Yeah,
Just like-
it pushes small objects back, and you definitely can tell that this will definitely shock anyone in the radius. Excited, although not going to test out any more spells, you're excited thinking that there are 15 whole spells here for you to learn, and then that mage said that there are even tiers much higher than this. Great, he said greater and super. What other spells could there be for you to learn? And you also think, now I haven't even tapped into my dark magic yet. For the first time in a long time, the once cold-hearted killer that you used to be actually feels a beating in his heart, an excitement you haven't felt before in a long time. This new world, where you have a new life, don't have to follow the orders of anyone, where you have been blessed with the powers of the great mythical dragon, the ability to fly, powerful abilities that allow you to summon swords and claw through enemies, and now the ability to summon lightning at your will. The thought of it all excites you greatly, and you are eager to test out magic again at a later date.
Alright, so so what happens is after Athenos like sorts through everything and puts it all back together, just like guiltily looking at the damaged property, even though there isn't much or like big at all, he's just like, wow, I did that, damn. So, but after doing that, he looks out the giant like the window to his room, assumedly, like something there, and then he just like gazes out into the distance as he just like takes all of it in. Just, this is peace. This is something I haven't seen in a while. It's nice. And then he just like, after a few more seconds of looking, he goes over to bed and just like basically planks down there, just tired.
You fall down the bed tired. You're not tired, although it's only early afternoon. You still feel exhausted from likely due to the amount of new things you've been experiencing. You don't necessarily fall asleep, but you kind of just rest there for a couple hours when you hear a knock on your door.
Oh, who's there?
It's the innkeeper.
I get up and like walk over to the door and then just like open it innocently.
Hey kid, I just wanted to let you know that since today is... Fuck, I gotta do math. How many times did you... Okay, so how many times have you slept through the night? So you slept once after getting kicked to the Great Monster Forest.
Yes, and then
again after...
Let's look back up. Okay, so slept once after getting into the Monster Forest. I think I
sleep. You sleep after fighting the Sweet Talker.
Let's see. I don't think he slept after fighting the Sleep Talker.
No, I think he did.
He did?
Remember, he defeated the Sweet Talker, picked up the cart, went over to a campsite.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he did just kind of like on his trek just decide to sit
and then
down
he slept
okay.
once more immediately after arriving in the Orc Village.
Yeah, right at the inn.
Sorry, Giant Village. Sleeps at the inn. Okay, so it's been 3 days, right?
Yeah, roughly.
So 10th, 11th, 12th. That's Castillo the 12th. Okay.
Okay.
So sleeps.
He's just
Castillo
like
the 10th. Sleeps.
He's just mentally exhausted, not even physically at this point.
Yeah, Castier the 12th. Okay, let me do some math real quick. Pull up the dates. Okay, so Castier starts on an Evictium, or I'll do Rin Day since it's not. So it starts on a Rin Day. So Rin Day is the 1st. So Lofon Day is the 7th, 8th, 9th. So the 9th would be an Alf Day. So 10th would be Kyo Day. 11th would be Mio Day. 5th would be a fill day. So it's a fill day. Okay. Okay. I'll make that note. Okay. Anyway, back to okay. So the tavern keep knocks on your door. He says, "Hey kid, just wanted to let you know that since today is fill day, we're having a free happy hour. Drinks are on the house for anyone who likes them. Although, do note we have a drinking limit, depending on your race, But if you'd like to come join us down here in the tavern, we're gonna have some music, some talks, maybe some story time. We'll see. Good drinks, good food, good fun."
All right, so he's just like thinking I could go to sleep right about now, or I could go down and experience the atmosphere, see what's up, see how lively this place is. So I would look up at the giants. I believe that it sounds enticing. I might see you down there in a second.
Great. It's always nice to have more company. Join whenever you're ready. And he walks away and closes the door behind you.
Okay, so Dread just like takes a moment to fucking like barely put the bed. Well, not barely. He puts the bed like back together, makes it and shit. Even though he's gonna sleep later on, but so then he does that, and then he starts going downstairs. So he's just walking and yada yada.
After sitting down, taking his back, you decide to go out. So you go out the door and walk down the tavern, and it is bustling. People of all races are partying, enjoying the fun. You see at the front of the counter, the innkeeper's offering free drinks. Where do you go?
So he looks over at the innkeeper, and then he's just like looking around, feeling like slightly lost even. Like this isn't. He's never really just like, how should we say this, turn to drinking. He's just more like stewed. He's used to like stewing in the less healthier thoughts that you might expect an assassin to have. It's just like this is a bit overwhelming, really. Like, so he just like takes a seat down and he's just like looking around like, whoa, I don't fit in.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
You feel a bit lost until the innkeeper beckons you over. "Hey kid, over here. Drinks are over here." Instinctively, you come towards him and towards the nice-looking innkeeper. He offers you a mug of ale. It looks small in his hand, but it's just the right size for you.
Alright, so I would just like hesitantly take it and like give it a taste sip to see what's up with that.
It tastes sweet, almost refreshing. Although it is you can feel the alcohol in it, although it's not that strong compared to what you've tasted in the past. It tastes quite nice actually, and you decide to drink the rest of it.
He just like gulps it down. He's addicted at this point. No, there's no saving him. Raging alcoholic Athenos. Too late. It's too late, Connor.
No. The innkeeper looks at him and says, "Impressive. I always heard dragons had high alcohol tolerance, but I never like to see it in person. Well, your limit is 10 drinks, so 9 more are free, next you have to pay for. But until then, have fun, enjoy the party. Say you're a traveler around here. I guarantee you every single person in my inn is a friendly person, and if they're not, I kick them out. So feel free to interact with anyone you want. I'm sure they'll be nice. And if they have any problems, just come let me know."
Alright, so he's just like he's stuck in the alcohol, but he just like gives a thumbs up to the innkeeper. And then after finishing the ale, he wipes what little remains off of his face, and then he just like looks around, see where else can I go to? That's the question.
You look around the tavern, and it's mainly just tables. Lots of tables crossed with one central pathway leading from the door to the center counter. They're if you're facing the door, on your left there are 3 tables and 3 groups. One seems to be a party of giants. Roughly 4 of them seem to have a discussion and playing some sort of game with caps. The second table seems to be a group of dwarves with their hammers on the table, likely discussing some sort of metallurgy. The third table is empty. On the right, the first table is also empty. Actually, the first table is almost empty, save for one mysterious-looking, what appears to be an elf, but you can't tell because of their hood, sitting alone, drinking ale. They don't seem to be uncomfortable, and they don't seem, nor do they seem mysterious. They just seem like they want to be left alone for now. The second table is also a group of giants with two dwarves in between. The dwarves are sitting on the table while the giants are on their knees, or are sitting scrunched up to match the height of the dwarves. And the third table has a group of human adventurers, one woman who appears to be a mage with a staff on her back, and two men. One appears to be a monk, the other appears to be a warrior.
Okay, I'm probably gonna need you to repeat that once I'm done. I need to like just quickly jot down, you know, the earlier events real quick.
All right. So on the left, first table, 4 giants playing a game.
Okay.
Second table is 4 dwarfs discussing forging.
4 dwarfs discussing forgery.
Third table is empty.
Third empty. And
On the right side, the first table is 1 lone elf drinking ale alone. The second table is 2 dwarfs and 3 giants sitting around each other talking.
The 5th table, right?
Yeah, that's the 5th table.
Okay.
The second table on the right, yeah. Third table on the right, or 6th table, is a party of adventurers. 1 woman who is a mage, 2 men, 1 a monk, 1 a warrior.
Party of adventurers, 1 mage, 2 monks, and then a 3 is a what?
So the woman's a mage, the other 2 are as a monk and a warrior.
Okay, alright, cool. Okay. Okay. You know what? Let's go to the last table with the party of adventurers. Let's stop on over there.
You approach the adventurers' table, and they greet you with a hi. You say hi back, and they say, and the warrior, who appears to be the leader of the party, says, "What can I do you for, sir?"
And I'm just like, namaste, good people. I'm just here to have a conversation, really. I don't know much about this current town. I just stopped by the other day, and yeah.
The monk responds, "Traveler, eh? Well, it's always nice to see new faces. I am Gildar. These are my party members. This is our leader, Lucroot, and our mage and his sister, Tiana."
Who's the 4th one?
There's only 3.
Oh, there's only 3. Okay. Gotcha. Go. Gotcha.
Tiana responds, "It's a pleasure to meet you. We don't see many Dragonborn around these parts. Most of them tend to reside in the Dragon Covenant. What brings you to this part of Castrio?"
Well, I heard about this Dragon Covenant, and I was attempting to go visit it, but on my way I couldn't help but hear about a humanoid alliance.
Not familiar.
Apparently,
I take it
this
you're
is
not.
very...
Luke Root responds, "I take it you're not familiar with Kestriel, then?"
No, I am not.
The monk asks, "Where do you hail from, if I may ask?"
Just thinking quickly on his feet, he's just like, I hail from Dialhaven.
Ah, human continent. Fun! We actually were, Luke Root responds, "Me and my sister were actually raised there. Gildo here." Is that what I named him? I already forgot what I named him. What did I name him?
It's Gildar.
Me and my sister here were raised on the human. Me and my sister here were raised in Zarconia. However, Gildar here is actually born in Lorraine.
Personally, I think you can still like have Luke Root call him Gildo as like a bit of a nickname.
That's actually a good idea. You're right.
Yeah. So just go ahead with that. That works too.
Right.
Well, that is very interesting here. You know, I'm glad to hear that.
We've recently taken up residence here in the giant village, because we've been interested in the riches of the great monster forest, and also just the natural feeling of Castriel is a great takeaway when you live in the big cities of Zarconia. You know.
I can imagine. I say, just like thinking back on past experiences in the big cities.
Oh.
None of them good.
Were you you're not sure. Oh, were you perhaps born in a rural village, a rural part of Dalheim?
Yes, I quite liked it. It was very peaceful.
Perhaps the southern forest. Sorry, I don't mean to pry. Lucret says. Everyone has their story, and I don't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. Tiana, sounds cool. Tiana then perks up. So you say you're looking for you're looking into the Humanoid Alliance, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm searching for them. That's would probably be less beneficial for my health. I would just like to know a bit more.
Yeah. Gildar responds. Yeah, that is fair. The Humanoid Alliance, they are a mess. Ever since Lies took over, it's been. We're lucky enough that the giant village had managed to earn its freedom, or else we would have had to flee from Castriel altogether. Is there anything you'd like to know about it? I personally have done a lot of research into the recent government, if you'd like to ask me any questions.
Of course. Who is this Lies fellow I've been hearing about? He sounds very intimidating.
Lies, huh? He is the Gildar size Lies, huh? He is the current leader, I guess you could say, rather dictator of the Humanoid Alliance. See, beforehand, the Humanoid Alliance had always been a peaceful democracy, ruled by a council of humanoids, hence the name. However, a while ago, I'm sorry, I forget the exact dates. I believe I can recall it. Let me think. Well, not dates, but you get the point.
Please take all the time you need.
Yes.
Gildar whips out his phone.
Yeah, Gildar. I remember now. Yes, the Alliance recently faced a very unfortunate series of natural disasters, including harsh winters and summers. This led to the Humanoid Alliance begging the Dragon Covenant for assistance. However, the leader of the Dragon Covenant, the Dragon Lord, refused to assist them. After this, the dwarf Lies, who led a very radical party, took over. They claimed the Dragon Covenant as their enemy and scapegoated religion and democracy as the reason for the people's suffering. He took over the country and gained the unique skill of Eternal Dictator, which grants him aegis immortality. Ever since, Lies has been ruling over the Humanoid Alliance and has been making it even worse and worse every day. All non-humanoids are vastly persecuted, and even normal humanoids are treated like scum if they don't adhere to his every whim and wish.
I take a moment to ponder on that. Well, he sounds like a bit of a dick, if I may politely place it like that.
That's an understatement, my friend. He's recently introduced a policy where people have to wear bracelets on their arms that monitor their every movement, and he introduced this horrible policy called the Final Hour, where every year when the clock hits 12, citizens across the country will feel a pain as the bracelet injects venom into the victim. Roughly, an amount of population is killed to manage overpopulation. It's a horrible system that goes directly against the will of Fiona and Seraphiel. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. Lies is too powerful, and the dragons won't help us. It's truly a sad state, but until a strong enough force rises up against them, nothing can be done. People actually hope, me myself as a Paxilist, hope that one day, maybe the, pause for a second while I search for all this information.
You hear that, Connor? It's the sound of Althvinhaim about to take Jamal's dream, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, come back. If only I want, maybe perhaps the Hewa icon can negotiate one day with Fiona, but until then, there's not much that can be done, I'm afraid. You're smart to want to stay away from that place. I would advise so to anyone, especially
Yes. Well, I must thank you for this information. I say as I like get up from the table.
Of course. Lucrit says. It's always nice to meet new people.
Indeed, I must give my goodbyes now. But it was a pleasure, as always. And then he would just like
The adventurers wave goodbye and continue back on their discussion as you walk back to the bar.
Alright, so just like he sits down and asks the bartender for just another little bit of ale.
Give me a drink, bartender.
Da da da.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that meme?
I'm afraid I haven't seen it fully. No.
Give me a drink, bartender. You Google it, you'll find. But yeah, you call the bartender over, and he hands you another glass of another mug of ale. You quickly drink it all down, still quite pondering what the more information, the further information you learned about the Humanoid Alliance.
Alright, so yeah, he's just like he just takes he downs Mugvale, and then just like gives it back, and then suddenly gets up, and then he just heads on back to his room with an idea and a plan. The Humanoid Alliance must go down, he thinks on his way back. I can neither confirm nor deny that he may have had a few drinks while making this, but not drunk.
He takes down a few more drinks while contemplating his new plan. He continues to look around the inn, appreciating the faces and the happiness of all the people around here. He thinks back to what the innkeeper said. This is the last town at the very least in this area that has not been taken over by lies, and even then, he recalls the innkeeper saying how the mayor has to pay a yearly tribute to lies just to avoid being subjugated. He thinks, this is not the same world I knew. In that world, I only killed bad people because I was told to. If I was told to kill good people, I'd kill good people. Morality has never mattered to me. I killed who I was told to kill. But in this world, you think, in this world that can be different. In this world, I can choose. I have the decision and the power to choose whose lives to take. You sit on that information a bit more, and after that, as the party dies down, as midnight begins to approach, you return to your room and lay down on your bed.
And then he falls asleep. Do you want to call it there for like the first session?
Yeah, I think that was good.
Yeah, okay, that's character development. I love it. It's great.
Character development.
Ooh. Oh, by the way, just I like how he was told straight up like his Liza's dictator ability makes him immortal, and he's like, yeah, that doesn't matter.
Oh no, ageless immortality.
Oh, ageless. Okay, yeah, then he's getting fucking schwacked.
Yeah. I'm interested. I like how Athnos didn't inquire more about Paxilism. I was kind of curious about that.
Inquire more about what?
Paxilism.
Paxilism.
The monk mentioned
do you-
he was a follower of Paxilism.
Ah, I see. Do you want to know? Do you want to know the reason why he didn't?
Why?
Because I didn't hear that part.
That is how it works, though. You're not gonna hear everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? If he did, he might have inquired more about it. But Paxilism is one of the religious
Yeah.
arts.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's see. I see. Well, goddess of peace. Interesting that. So, you know, I think I figured out the strat. Now it's gonna be a balance of Athnos trying to like fight evil while also like desperately searching for that inner peace somewhere. But you know, the duty calls. You know, gotta take out bad people. So. Character dev elements right off the gate. You know, Jamal wishes he could do it as well as I do. Alright, anyways. Great little session, Connor. I think you
3.5 hours, yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. Already. Alright, peace.
Rate your experience. I'm gonna need you to...
What, you want me to rate your Yelp experience?
Yeah.
5 stars.
Very nice, alright.
You can say that they're 5-star reviews and be
Alright.
only talking
Go
about
ahead
me.
and stop the recording.